So many of you are aware that war has been escalating between Iran, Israel, and America. We're all a little in the dark, but through some of our confidential sources, we were able to obtain a transcript of leaked phone communications between Lindsay Graham and President Trump taken on a private line during the Israeli strike on Tehran. This is Lindsay speaking. He says, yes, right there. Don't fucking stop. I'm so close. Don't you dare fucking stop. Yes, pound it. Fucking pound it. Harder, harder right there. Deeper, deeper. I'm begging you, don't stop. I need this so fucking bad.
He continued, I'm gonna fucking explode. Yes, yes. Hey, get the out of here. I told you not to come today. I don't need anything cleaned. Leave now. Lock the door. Fuck, I lost it. Okay, I'm back in. Yes, keep going. Oh, that one was so deep. Penetrated. Yes, 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 yes. It's happening. Explosion time. Kaboom. Lindsay Likey.
At this point, there was 6 seconds of silence before Graham said, all right, Craig, money's on the table. And scram, we're bombing Iran today. Crap, I think I forgot to hang up the phone.
The boys.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The lads.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST.
The bros.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The homies.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Experience the BOYSCAST.
The boys. Cast.
The Boys Cast. Don't forget, thank you all of you who support us at patreon.com/theboyscast. Imagine every Friday opening up that feed and seeing 2 episodes instead of 1. What a dream come true. That's the life that you want to live.
It's the life.
It's the life. Inflation proof. Price has not gone up. This is what you want to be. This is how you want to live. Now, we're going to get to Danny's war.
But first, Ryan's war.
No, I'll tell you. Well, there's a couple wars going on right now. There's a lot of different ones.
Yeah.
But and people have been saying, you know, this war with Iran's very bad. There's a lot of people that aren't happy about it. But
Might be.
What might be worse? This is a bit my war.
Yeah.
Hold on.
This is hitting real close to home.
Do you know what I'm gonna do?
I know what you're gonna do.
Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Will Smith's new banger, and I've been following the career, and the new one is this has to be his masterpiece. This is his Parents Don't Understand again. So
This is literally I'm Not Gay No More, the song.
No, this is the straight anthem. Danny's forgetting it. You're not a guy that likes pretty girls, so
Head, shoulders, knees, toes. Hold up, wait, pose. Girl.
I like pretty girls, 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 girls. I like pretty girls, girls.
I love pretty girls.
You know
He likes what's inside of them too, not just on the outside.
he likes everything
He
about
likes
them.
pretty on the out.
I like pretty girls.
I have
girls,
no
girls.
standards.
It is sort of the closeted anthem a little
Oh my
bit.
God.
I was, you know what it
be
is?
gay.
The problem is there's multiple problems because you always want what you don't have. You know what I mean? Like, I think the biggest thing is
You think he doesn't have access to pretty girls?
I think that he doesn't have the access to people thinking he's cool the way he wants to.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
yes, you're a big movie star.
And
you have
he
money.
thought, and in his mind, he goes, "This will help."
Yes, because he has bad taste, right?
He must
Don't
have
forget, he didn't
crazy
write
yes
his
men.
movies.
He must have crazy yes men around him,
I think you,
like
especially in the
fucking
music
Kim Jong
scene.
Un level yes men.
That is funny. Just picturing like,
Will, that's another banger. Will,
how do you
can't
do
stop,
it?
man. You just can't stop making bangers, huh?
How do you do it? Just 9 guys in a studio being like, "Holy shit,
Literally
you've done
just-
it again,
Dude, his whole people surrounding him, or just his album drops. They just have to go buy every copy. You know,
For
just to
sure.
be like, dude, it's sold out everywhere.
Yeah, they
can't even get one.
They bring him to like a record store, and they're just like, set up a big display and then buy every copy.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
look,
yeah.
well, again, how do you do it? How do you keep fucking doing it? I think but he wants to be seen as like, especially that he has a little bit of like people see him as corny. He wants to be seen like the way that maybe like Dave Chappelle is or something like that. You know?
Good luck.
And, well, that's what I'm saying. But even Dave Chappelle.
I mean, you can just be a movie star. Like, honestly, just keep cranking out fucking Bad Boys and stuff.
you always want what you can't have.
know.
Like he wants to walk into a room and people being like, "Oh, that's so cool." That because he's cool, not because he's so famous.
Yeah.
It's like the rich guy that wants the girls to think like him for him. No, I want my wife to want to fuck me, not be like in it for the money.
I like girls with hair.
But
You got a thing in your face.
is it gone?
Yeah.
Oh, phew. Close call.
Close call.
That's how you end up with like Will Smith. By the way,
I know.
So it's been getting reviewed, right? Because the press is putting the song out there.
It's been getting reviewed by every fucking 19-year-old blogger in Bushwick.
Well, I'm telling you, he sees himself as it's the guy that no matter how famous you get, these problems can't go away. But I always say is like with a comedian, one of the things that like is the wake up call, like for the first 5 years, is you realize like you see yourself different than how everyone else sees yourself, and you sort of have to reconcile that to be good at comedy. Mm-hmm. Like, and there's other things like that too. Probably sales is one thing.
Of course.
If you're after 5 years, you kind of have to realize like, oh, people see me as like a little sleazy, or people see me
like a CEO or something.
Yeah, or people see me as like obnoxious. Like there's a lot of things that you have to reconcile how the world sees you with how you see yourself.
Absolutely.
And really famous people never have to make that like reconciliation between how I'm seen and how I think I am.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't think Will Smith has the capacity to do something like that.
No, I think it's not in him. Yeah.
No, it's not in him.
But he's 60, so if it hasn't happened, it's not happened now.
Oh God, the fact that a 60-year-old came out with a song called "I Like Pretty Girls," and he goes, nothing corny about that.
Danny doesn't like girls the way that he likes. That's why.
No, I mean, he's like, I like them all.
Every type, man.
Not trying to be like fucking
man likes pretty
breaking
girls.
Down lyrics right now, but
well, they do break down the lyrics in the article. So the review, it's funny because the review should just be every article being like, yeah, this stinks.
Thankfully, his music career is not more popular than it is, because there'd be just a wave of comedians being like, really? You like every girl?
Yeah. Danny hates the
breaking down
rap lyrics.
Comedy bits.
Really, T-Pain? Oh yeah, Bruno Mars? But they go, okay, there's two really good ones. The first one, Will Smith's new single "Pretty Girls" sounds like a cry for help. They're taking it very seriously.
He's like trying to escape Scientology with this or something.
Is he still a Scientologist?
I believe so, yeah.
That's the yes man. There you go. That's the yes man.
Yeah.
It's the guy going in, putting the hook in the machines up and being like, I know, I'm predicting a hit, man.
Yeah. Thetans are
the
through the
Thetans
roof.
are saying that this is going to fucking blow up the charts. I actually offer, so they go, this is the guy, Lewis Chilton. He says, it actually offers a fascinating look at the masculinity in crisis. In it, Smith rapped bluntly about his omnivorous lust for the opposite sex. It's basically my sketch where I did the music critic breaking down Will Smith. He has a lust for the opposite sex. In the equally dismal music video, he can be seen blissfully dancing or simply ogling an assortment of women, sometimes decades younger than him.
Oh no.
Their argument is like this sexist somehow.
Yeah, it's sexist. They go, yeah, which is probably Will Smith would rather that than.
First of all, the man likes pretty girls. What's he supposed to do? Second of all,
can't tell the difference between the ugly ones and the pretty ones either, though.
He doesn't give a shit, dude.
He doesn't give. They're all pretty.
As long as they're on the fucking knob.
Yeah.
And the crazy part though is like, how do you imagine being like a rap critic, and modern rap is just like a fucking 9 chicks sucking my dick. Yeah. Chicks is what they say.
Yeah. Chicks. How dare you?
Bitches and hoes, as they say. And then what's too misogynist for them? Imagine being in the rap adjacent review space and you go, what's too misogynist for me is I like pretty girls, girls.
I don't know if there's a genre of rap.
You crossed the line, Will.
I don't know if there's a genre of rap called unk rap, but this is
That's a really good point.
This is unk rap.
It's 100% unk rap.
This is like, I'm coining this term unk rap right here.
But it's weird because it's unk rap, but he doesn't think it's unk rap.
Well, it's unk rap.
I like pretty girls.
This is.
There's actually something deliberately emasculating to it, but the image of a pint-sized Will Smith clamoring around the giant women and woefully unchic dance moves, and that's because he made himself small.
Yeah,
and
because they're doing like literally like 9th grade fucking video editing green screen tricks. Yeah. He goes, make him small, and then he does the thing. He goes, oh.
And their synopsis of that is that Will Smith is like, he's such a cuck that he was like, make me small, because then the girls are, you know what I mean? Make me small, and then these women are big.
Step on me.
And then I'm cowering in the corner being stepped on. Will likes pretty girls. It is just funny, like, what is even the argument with that one? They're like, he made himself specifically small, so they're going to make me like Will Smith, man.
Not I.
Will Smith, Pretty Girls single review, an exploitative attempt at progress. 1 star. It's funny. A lot of these reviews focused on
Nothing about the music. Nothing about like, yo, this song sucks.
No, they're like the song slaps, but the message is.
We don't like the messaging.
I don't know about this message.
Song's great. Messaging poor.
Where you're ogling women. This change falls flat on its face due to Smith's potentially unintentionally creepy lyrics that detail how much he loves pretty girls. Now he wishes to buy them anything he wants or anything they want. Not. By the way, that's a funny thing. It's just creepy to like pretty girls. It's fucking creepy. I guess it does come across creepy. But
Yeah, I like pretty girls.
I don't know what I don't like more, the reviews
I
of the
like
song.
ugly girls.
I think that's kind of what they're saying. Like, what does it matter if they're pretty or not?
Yeah.
All girls are pretties.
I like pretty girls, 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 girls. I love pretty girls, 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 girls.
Not only do his words tell a story of exploitative gender dynamics, they also color Will Smith as a much darker person that he once had a squeaky clean presence that it would lead you to believe. So I don't know if it's funny. Just like it's dark,
I mean,
misogynistic.
you're really kind of overanalyzing.
That's
this shit
the
right
biggest
now.
overanalyzation.
I mean, that's what they do with these like music critics. But you're like, you're really looking too much into.
I know.
This is just a guy who's just past his prime, definitely for music.
Past his prime, not touched.
I mean, the guy won Best Actor like 4 years ago.
A lot's happened in 4 years, man.
The year he slapped fucking
The slap
Chris
really
Rock.
spiraled him.
But he won Best Actor the year he slapped Chris Rock. That same Oscar.
And I don't even blame it on, you know my theories. I don't blame it on the slap. I blame it on the before the slap, which is Jada Pinkett Smith emasculating him. And that's what led him here.
Yeah, for sure. But it's just...
He's like,
man.
how about this?
Hang it up, dude. He literally reminds me of like, at least from the music stuff, he's like an athlete who's just like
Yeah.
like Wayne.
One last boxing match. and
Not
he's
even Wayne Gretzky, because like these guys. I'm trying to think who like really didn't.
He was. You're saying Will Smith was the Wayne Gretzky of rap at his prime.
Yeah, and then
That's
he's
your
like,
point.
but he's playing into his 60s kind of thing, and you're going, dude, you still just give it up, man.
It's the boxer. It's Rocky going back for one last, but he just gets kicked the shit out of him in the first round.
Yeah, it's not good.
But one last rap piece is Jagmeet Singh and Drake.
Beef.
So people don't know people don't know Jagmeet Singh. It's the like Indian
Sikh former leader of
kind of like the Bernie Sanders of
Canada.
Canada or whatever.
Left, dude.
And he went to the Kendrick Lamar concert and just the city erupted.
Oh yeah.
And Drake sent a message being like, "You're a goof."
Yeah, you're a fucking goof, bud. Which is, for those of you who are not Canadian, that is the worst thing you can say to a man in Canada.
And they're right. It was by the way, him going to the Drake the Kendrick Lamar concert would be the equivalent of like if Eric Adams right now or Cuomo or whatever running for mayor went out and they're just like wearing like a Boston Celtics jersey to the fucking Madison Square Gardens.
Or like Biden wearing a MAGA hat. He did that, but
It would be like Biden wearing like a North Korea hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Russia. It'd be like Biden wearing like a Russia shirt.
Sure, yeah, like a fucking Ovechkin Russia jersey or some shit.
Yeah, dude. It was like so the town wasn't happy with it, and I also wasn't happy with it.
And then
waste man moves.
As a true goof, he was just like, I was just there for SZA.
Yeah, true goof moves. He's the ultimate goof.
Yeah, you went to fucking Kendrick Lamar at Skydome for SZA.
You're a grown ass man.
Shut up.
Yeah, you're grown ass man.
Yeah.
Pure waste man moves.
Waste man.
And then, actually, on the topic of the mayors, probably one of my funniest things was basically Cuomo and the guy Mondami. Is that what it is?
Zoran, yeah. It looks like he's.
You gotta get his name right because he gets really mad when he gets his name wrong and calls it Islamophobic.
Everybody's saying that he's got a chance. It's looking like probably not. I mean, dude,
But you see that Cuomo,
city's fucked.
they
if that guy
released.
wins.
Yeah, there's not.
That guy
Gonna be
literally
great.
wants like way less police.
He has some wacky ass
Wacky
ideas. But he did he's got mad because Cuomo was released an ad or it got leaked, and basically it made his beard bushier to make him. And his argument is it's to make him look more like a terrorist. Which, if you're gonna fight fire with fire, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to make a move. You got to release your ad where Cuomo's just like in like a Guido tracksuit,
Just eating a meatball.
eating a meatball, Guido tracksuit, calling a hit.
Hey man, that's old school politics right there. That's the shit they used to do.
Yeah,
You make him look older, a little just sweaty.
I know they didn't really have the move now where you can't do any of that stuff because they call you racist.
Yeah, that's true.
This guy calls everything racist too, by the way. He's in anyone mispronounces. That's been one of my least favorite things of all time, and I see a lot of that on TikTok where they're just like people be like, "You don't know what it's like to be like ethnic," and people mispronounce your name, and you're like, first of all, you are
my whole life.
Yes, but you know, It's like, yes, you have a complicated name.
Yeah, I've never once taken it personally.
It's like, what are you supposed to do?
Never once I was just like, are they out to get me?
You're like, it's racist. You're like, your name's weird.
Yeah, it's hard to...
You have a fucking weird
the
name.
education system in this country is poor.
Every time I get into a cab, they go, Rian? It's like, imagine I'm like, so you hate white people.
Yeah.
It's like, you have a fucking weird name. I don't know. It's whatever.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah, there's other people that are...
Again, he's trying to play that game. So
But he's playing it to the absolute max, and it's working. He's like, everyone, why'd you look at me like that? Because I'm brown?
Yeah.
The beard thing was funny, though.
Part of me hopes he wins just to see how much he destroys the city. But then you're also like, but
You
then
like
I
the
do
chaos
live.
of it?
But then I do live here.
Yeah.
Like, no, because there is a part of me who's
You're
like,
just getting punched on the subway?
yeah, there is a part of me where you're like, yeah, let him win just so you see how bad this gets. And then you're like, but I also live here.
You're saying every once in a while they need a reset, or a guy comes in with wacky ideas and just fucking
so
does
you just see how bad these ideas are, but then you're also like, no, but I live here. Can't have that happening.
It is a weird one though, because I sort of would have thought that style of campaign would not be that popular at this moment in time.
I really don't get why Eric Adams, people don't like him so much.
People hate him.
I don't get it. He hasn't been that bad.
I think that people. I've kind of said that too.
I don't.
He was
really,
just on. He just did a live stream with Sneeko, and people got mad at it.
Yeah, I saw the New York Post was like, he had a meeting with anti-Semite Sneeko or whatever.
Yeah, there you
go.
go.
And Sneeko's like, I'm Jewish, which I didn't know. I thought he was Muslim.
I think he did a test and found out he's like a percent enough
he's
Jewish.
a 1%er.
Yeah, that's
One drop rule, Sneeko. Everybody knows the rules.
Something happened. I don't know the ins and outs of that, but
Yeah.
that is not bad though. If you're getting anti-Semitic accusations and you fucking get a test and find out you're a bit, and you go boom,
Boom.
Oh, I said the N-word. How about this? I'm 2% Jewish, 2% black.
Yeah. So I don't. Yeah, but I don't get why he has no shot at winning the Democratic primary.
People hate him. I think the scandal hit him, and I think another part is like the Democrats really abandoned him because he was seen as like kind of curtailing to Trump in some way or form.
He was like but he was just trying to be like, yo, I got to run the city, and this fucking all this mass migration shit's destroying the city.
Yeah,
I think he was a steward of this city.
I don't know, man. I would have expected the Mondomi guy, Ty Mondomi. I would have expected him to be like doing better in Portland. I wasn't expecting New York City to be riding so hard for that.
Poly Market only has him at 20% chance of winning
there.
So
I thought that Canada, I would expect that in fucking Toronto or some shit like that.
Yeah, you'd be like, yo, go move to Canada, man. You'll be the fucking prime minister.
Toronto just did Father's Day, and this is the Father's Day. The Toronto Star released this article for Father's Day. On Father's Day, it's crucial to recognize the importance of mothers. He goes, if only there was a day for that.
If only there was a day for that just happened last month.
Dude, you got to see did you look at the picture of the guy?
Who wrote it?
Yeah.
No, is this something like this?
No, he's like older. It's like, it's basically like 75-year-old elbows up boomer guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Father's Day is set aside so that children can thank dad. That is completely unnecessary. I'm confident my children appreciate my role in my upbringing, and they need a special day on the calendar to let me know that. Mother's Day is also a child parent thing, so when a man makes it a priority to thank the woman who birthed his children, how about Father's Day for that? So he goes,
what?
Because it's the most nonsensical fucking article.
This guy worked at the CBC for 40 years.
Buddy, it's literally like a fucking 70-year-old guy cooking around the office trying to get some young pussy being like pretty sick. Hey, I got a sick idea. How about 2 Mother's Days?
2 Mother's Days. Pretty good. Crazy.
How about 2 Mother's Days?
Crazy. The slop that the Toronto Star puts up.
I can't believe that one, though. This guy, there's nothing worse than like 70-year-old like trying to be hip by like being progressive attitudes.
Oh yeah. By being like the uber progressive, you're like trying to take
70?
At 70 trying to take this top spot. You're like, this country's crumbling.
If the world was a perfect place, a man might show gratitude every day. The world is not a perfect place. So on Father's Day, when all the attention falls on the least important character in the delivery room,
character.
Just go trans at least if you're gonna fucking write this slop.
He's like, I'm too old to go trans.
He'd love to, I know.
This is the best he can do. Is just being like, why do we have Father's Day?
It seems to me that a smart father would insist on recognizing the blinding truth. The woman who made him a father is the real hero of the story.
Oh, Father's Day must be a treat at the Bulgutch household.
It's funny too because they kind of, yeah, right. They kind of make the argument a lot of times where they're just like, just because we're supporting one person doesn't mean it's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
And you're like, how are you supporting the mothers? And you're like, we're going to take in their day and giving them to you. You're like, well, that one seems like it's pretty specific. So
Do you think his kids give him a number 2 dad mug?
yeah. He goes, your mom's number 1 mom and
number 1 dad. You get number 2 dad.
I was kind of thinking about like if you think about left and right in a certain way, you kind of be like at their worst, the right's kind of like the drunk stepdad.
Yeah.
Where, maybe he's going to, he gets drunk. He maybe says Oriental. He maybe.
Yeah, says some questionable things.
Yeah, you're crying. He's like, stop fucking crying, and stuff like that.
Calling you a pansy.
Yeah. And then so he's the weekend dad. But then the mother is like the progressive mother where you don't see dad that much. And dad's like, your mother's a fucking bitch. And you're like, oh, she's not that bad. And then mother starts being like, you're not allowed to skateboard without your safety pads. And then she's like, by the end of it, she's kind of like, I'm taking your skateboard and I'm giving it to the homeless guy. And also I'm giving your records to the kid next door.
Sure.
And then also I want you to call me dad. Also I'm walking around the house naked now. And then you go over and then stepdad,
But yeah, by contrast, you go,
by contrast,
pretty sick.
Drunk dad starts looking all right.
Yeah, saying Oriental.
You're like, maybe those homeless people, could get a fucking job.
Yeah. Stepdad comes and goes, let's go talk to those homeless people, get your stuff back.
He goes, what's your fucking wacky mother now doing? She goes, well, she wants me to call her dad now.
Told you. He's very much told you so.
Exactly. I told you that lady's fucking crazy.
Should have listened to your stepdad.
Told you that lady's fucking something else. Anyways, you also mentioned there's an epidemic of lesbians marrying dudes, which is pretty funny.
Yeah. They're coming around. It's no longer beneficial to your career.
Well, I did the one with JoJo Siwa, and then you said there was one recently.
Demi Lovato.
There was another one, too.
I don't know the other one, but Demi Lovato married a dude.
Yeah, she
a couple days ago.
I think a bunch of them. Oh, I can't.
Her whole thing. We covered it on the show, like when she was like, "I'm bi," and then now I'm pansexual.
I know she's all of them.
And then she looked at the graph of her career, and it was still just kind of trending downwards. And she goes, "There's got to be something to do."
It's so crazy. It might just work.
Turn this ship around, and then all of a sudden she goes, "All right, I guess."
If I'm a straight dude, and you're like, actually, even crazier. I'm a straight girl. Fucking so nuts.
How's the career looking? Still the same. Have you tried putting out new music? No.
No, but I sucked a dick last night. You're like, what if you put that? What if I put that online?
Yeah.
You got the video of it, maybe.
Yeah, the video of it. That might give you a little bump.
Oh, what was the other one? The Woodbridge bus driver.
Oh yeah, in Woodbridge, Ontario, which is
the Guido Central.
Guido Central, absolutely, like just
little New Jersey.
Yeah, exactly, like just all fucking Italians. And then there was this school bus driver. This is very Canada story. Like I didn't at first realize this was a Canada story, but then I saw it and I go, of course.
Yeah.
But there was this like Asian bus driver for like kids, and then he was literally dressing as like one of those like Japanese like lolly characters. It's like old Asian man with like a wig, a pink like mini skirt.
Pop a photo of that up.
Yeah, pop a photo of that up. And he put up a sign on the bus that called it the Lolita line.
Isn't that the Epstein thing?
No, the Lolita Express. He's like, it's an anime thing, and then all these parents saw it, and of course they're just like, what the fuck is this?
What the? Hey, yo, hey,
and he's just like, what? His whole thing is like, what? And everybody in Canada is like, what's the issue? And
what's the issue?
They got him fired eventually. But the fact that
he did get fired.
He did get removed. Yeah. Remember when the good old days when your bus driver was just like some fucking
auto,
or it was mostly like it would always be like some 70-year-old grandma.
That's what it should be. Yeah,
smoking darts on the bus.
Yeah, hacking darts.
Yeah, just like. Get on. Yeah, and just driving you around. You go, that's how it should be.
That's who the bus driver should be. Yeah, not someone that's pretty pumped to hang out with kids.
Yeah, dressed as a fucking a man in a pink skirt.
That's what I said. All those jobs where you work around kids, it should be a reluctant job. No one should be excited about that job. Everyone should be like, yeah, I guess I could be a bus driver.
Sure.
Like anyone who shows up and they're like, oh, I'm fucking stoked. Yes, driving kids.
I mean, generally like a sweet old person who you go like, this person might be like partially retired. And
retired.
Like, little extra money, is like, likes being around kids, but not in a creepy way. But this guy's like.
If he likes being around kids, it manifests and everyone gets a Werther's original every now and then.
The question is, did he wear the dress to the job interview?
No, I think he pulls it out after.
Like he totally like kind of bait and switch them. He shows up, he's just dressed normal, and then
Asian in a suit.
Yeah, Asian in a suit, and then first day on the job, it's just
I mean, buddy, I don't be the one to say this, but it's like you're already, your driving skills are in question, and then now
You're on thin ice here, pal.
and then now you're doubled. Now you're trying to add to that.
yeah.
You go,
I mean, I wouldn't be
and
surprised.
I'm a girl.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if at least one dad in Woodbridge was just like, "You got an Asian driving the bus? What the fuck?" He was wearing a pink dress.
We gotta get rid of this. Hey, I don't care
About
about
that Fanuc shit.
It's putting my kid's safety at risk.
Kid's not gay. It's not an issue. But why we got an Asian driving the bus?
That guy was giving the fake tits girl a run for her
I know.
money, though.
I know. I love that there's two of those stories, both from Ontario.
Yeah.
Both literally 50 miles.
Something
apart.
in the water there, man. People.
Fucking.
But that's what could be the future the Modami wants, man.
Yeah.
Every
Every fucking MTA driver is just trans.
cop's just got huge, like a male with huge fake tits just running around.
I legit saw like a 4 foot tall cop the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been seeing tons of videos of the girl cops trying to arrest people, and the guys just like brushing them off and then like, running
just
away.
Literally just full stiff arm.
It happens like a lot where you, I mean, you never know these days whether something happens a lot or I'm just
Sure.
everything they can make it seem like it's happening a lot.
You like there's only 10 videos of it and they showed them to you consecutively.
Right, but I would have thought it was happening like seldomly.
Yeah.
Where it's like you just see, especially in Britain, they don't have guns or anything, but like you see it so many times where it was just like 2 female cops and then like some dude, and then he like doesn't even try that hard, like wrestles them off and then like lightly jogs away.
Sure, and they're like not even in particularly great shape.
No, they're
Like
not.
it's not like they're like, oh, we'll fucking run this dude down. It's just like they're not in great shape.
Yeah.
Can't handle them. Yeah. Yeah, there's but yeah, I don't know, like what was a 4 foot tall cop?
4 foot tall cop's stupid.
It's crazy.
Man or woman.
Man. Black guy.
He just walks through the guy's legs.
He was with a bunch of other cops, but I was like, oh,
They got to give him a beast of a partner.
that's too small for a cop.
They used to have like height restrictions before, I'm pretty sure.
There should be.
And to be firefighters and stuff like that, but they were saying it was racist because it was
He's black.
I know this guy was?
Yeah. Yeah, he was like, I was like borderline. I go, this might be a little person. He was like right on the margin.
I mean, that's wild if you're robbing a bank and then like a midget comes to like arrest you.
Yeah, I mean, I just was like, just out of a purely effectiveness standpoint.
Well, it's the same.
What is he, just hold onto your leg?
Think about a firefighter where it's like they're literally carrying people in the building. Like there's no argument why you can't have someone that's like a big person.
Yes, of course. And I mean, again, there's probably, you can't be 400 pounds to be a firefighter either.
You can though. The trick is you have to start.
Yeah, you start and then you're just the guy who cooks everybody meals.
Yes, you're allowed, but I think that the standards relax, and then every 10 years you might have to do something.
I don't know. I feel like I walk because, there's so many fire stations in New York City and you walk by them and they're all just chilling all the time and they all seem pretty fit.
They seem pretty fit here.
Yeah,
However, that's New York City.
Yeah.
You go to some of these smaller places.
Yeah, you get some big boys.
You might get some bigger boys.
4 foot tall police officers, insane.
Yeah, crazy.
Literally, like that.
What are you gonna do?
That is like a concept for like some shitty movie from like the 90s.
Yeah, mall cop.
Like literally Danny DeVito cop.
Well, some of the girls are like, you go, who couldn't like out wrestle her?
Yeah. I mean, and I guess their whole thing is, well, they have weapons. And they go, okay, but I can just run away.
That's what I'm saying. In Britain, they don't even really. They just have their stick.
Their stick. Maybe they have tasers. I don't know.
Boys, whether you're hitting plateaus, whether you're bored with your current workout routine, or you need a new fitness routine to keep it interesting, or you're just new to fitness, period, Fitbod sets you up with a custom workout plan tailored to your fitness goals. You don't need a personal trainer. You can let Fitbod get you that summer body that you're needing and have workouts designed around your equipment, your goals, your experience, taking the guesswork out, tracking your performance, and getting the most out of your workout routine. I've been on Fitbod for years now. It's very easy to use. You just pop it in there. You can tell it here's the equipment that I have here. If you go to a different gym, you can say, here's what I have here. Keeps track of your progress so you don't have to bring the notepad with you.
Don't want to be a notepad guy. Sweating all over the notepad. Can't read what you wrote.
Sweating all over the notepad. I also don't want to be a personal trainer guy because I don't like making those appointments because I like to do my workouts when I feel like doing them.
That too.
On top of that, and
sometimes you're on the road, in a hotel room, hotel gym. They're all different.
Sometimes you want some solitude where you don't want to talk to another person and have another person yelling at you.
You don't want some guy you pay $200 an hour calling you a pussy.
Yes, you're not interested in all that sort of stuff. You want to have this in a phone taken care of. Here's what I did last time. Here's some new exercises. Here's what muscle groups I've been focusing on. Here's how long it's been since I did that and whether I could do that today. Fitbod helps you put together a customized workout based on your goals. It makes it easier. It also is like having a personal trainer in your pocket, helps you stay focused, get a better workout. Workouts adapt as you're growing. They track your muscle recovery, fine-tuned by experienced certified professionals. Level up your workouts with customized fitness plans that work for you with over 1,000 demonstration videos as well. Get in shape this summer with Fitbod. Join Fitbod today to get your personalized workout plan. We're talking 25% off your subscription, or you can just try the app for free for 7 days at fitbod.me/boyscast. That is fitbod.me/boyscast. Fellas, the summer is here. We got more sun, more light, more time to do the things that make summer special. And the number one thing you don't want to be doing all summer, spending hours inside cooking. That's where Factor comes in. Factor's chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals are ready in just 2 minutes, taking the hassle out of eating well. And they are not only are you saving time, they got a whole bunch of different.
Don't have to think about what you're eating, which is huge.
And if you want, that's the number one, even just to stay in shape, period, is this like stay off of like figuring out what I'm going to do today. It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
If it's set for you, you're on Steve Jobs' diet where you have your mind's not thinking of it.
No.
The meals are good. Takes you 2 seconds. You just take it out, put it in the microwave.
You put it on a plate.
I put it on a plate. Danny does
not. I don't
not.
need that cleanup hassle.
You don't need that cleanup hassle.
Even though I might just take the plate and just put the thing on the plate and then just put the plate back. But
I like to plate mine. We're two different guys. Everyone does theirs differently.
Yeah.
But it's the convenience is the best thing. It comes in a box that keeps it cold. So if it's outside of your door for a few hours, it doesn't matter. Factor meals arrive fresh, ready to eat. Perfect for any active lifestyle, summer and beyond. 45 weekly menu options. You can pick gourmet meals that fit your summer gains and goals. Options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. Factor powers your day, sun up to sundown with nutritious breakfasts, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, guilt-free snacks and desserts. Factor's got your whole day covered, so enjoy it this summer. Get Factor if you want to have all the flavor and none of the fuss. Get started at factormeals.com/boyscast50 off. Use the code BOYSCAST50 off, OFF, to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code BOYSCAST50 off at factormeals.com/boyscast50 off for 50% off plus free shipping at factormeals.com/boyscast50 off. I feel like with the war that's been happening.
Which one?
Exactly.
The war on white men?
The war.
I'm sick of it.
War on jokes, yeah. I feel like a lot of this Iran war is to take away from the fact that Joey Chestnut has. They're trying to distract you. They don't want to know that Joey
King has returned.
That Joey Chestnut, the king, has returned.
That was what No King's Day was about. Was keeping Joey Chestnut out of the 4th of July hot dog eating contest.
You know, No King's Day actually had a couple funny things because there was, first of all, those protests were your options period for protests that day were like they both slap if you're a fucking over 70-year-old retired person. If you go to
white people.
No, but I'm saying the military parade and the No King's Day.
Dude, No King's Day looked like a Fish concert.
No King's Day, that's what I'm saying though, but parts of it became a Palestine rally.
Of course.
And it was literally organized by like, the Upper West Side Zionists.
Yeah.
And they're just like, isn't this fucking great? Like women power, Trump's a king. Also, it's funny because they're just like, part of their thing was they're like, it's a free speech rally. They're just like from the people that hate free speech by the most in the world.
Yeah. Also, a king wouldn't let you do this.
That's true too.
Yeah, if there was a king, like, there's this, obviously in North Korea, there's no Kim Jong-un day.
Sure.
They don't do that.
Well, it's just funny because, like, yes, there is stuff that Trump's doing, but you're like, also, there's only one of those things you don't like. As far as if you put up all the presidents and all of the movements that are like want censorship in one way or another, it's like you like most of them.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's like wild to wrap themselves up in a free speech
I don't know what was anything accomplished. Can they say we accomplished something other than just being like?
They had a good time.
Yeah, they had a good time, but I'm like...
Nice little Sunday afternoon.
Were they like, we just want Trump to know that we don't like him? And he goes, he knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
I think they wanted to take the press away from his military parade, which was equally gay.
Yeah, that was pretty gay.
Dude, I can't even imagine just like...
But at least it was the 200... Because some people corrected me last week, but it was the 250th anniversary of the military. It was a pretty savvy move on Trump's part because everybody was like, oh, he's just doing this for his birthday. But you're like, no, it also was the 250th anniversary of the United States military. It just happened to fall on his birthday. And so he was just, and everybody's like, oh, he's doing like a thing for him. And you go, no, I'm doing a thing for the military.
Sure, whatever. But I mean, the military parade I can think that would probably be more boring than watching the.
Unless you're autistic. Dude, imagine you're fucking one of those autistic dudes and you just get to see fucking 40 tanks roll by.
You just got a fucking tear dripping down. You're just like, it's so beautiful.
Dude, look at those tanks. I mean, I'd rather go see a bunch of tanks rolling down the street.
Yeah.
Bunch of fucking Upper East Side.
There's more action going on if you go to the protest.
That's true. Funnier.
Yeah, it's funnier.
Nothing funny about the military parade. There's nothing funny. Like some dude with one leg hobbling around.
Because you're in the when you go to the protest, they're in the march.
Yeah.
But I don't think I probably can't go that far because again, a lot of the people that were in charge of this protest are 99 years old.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, with the military thing is like they do have an issue where like being in the military became this like really lame thing.
Yeah.
And they need to make it cool again.
They have to. I know they're trying to make it. It's only a lame thing probably in like cities.
Yeah.
I still think that there's probably lots of places in the Midwest that that it's still Army guys like they have some sort of status like the way that a junior hockey player has.
Sure. Yeah.
Like a football player, but not like he's not going to the show, but he's doing all right.
Yeah, he's doing all right. He's serving his country, but. I mean, yeah, they just, I don't know what their recruitment numbers are like now, but I know they were getting pretty bad for a while there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they have to, you're right, they have to do stuff. That's why they souped up the commercials, and the commercials are like, want to get fucking pussy.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to get pussy.
That's what they should say.
All
like,
white
hey,
dudes.
Overseas, like they should actually. That would be like a good commercial if they kind of show the guy like overseas on his like sabbatical, like he has 3 days off, and it's just him like walking with two like Afghani chicks back. Like what I mean? He's like
both just fucking covered head to toe.
What happens overseas stays overseas.
Don't worry, nobody knows what they look like.
that actually would be a better sell where they're just like, listen, like there's pussy to be had for Army guys in those military bases overseas.
Hell yeah. Man, they love, well, maybe not.
Especially you're trying to sell this to 20-year-old guys, right? You're like, oh yeah, you want to go on Tinder? It's like, the Army base is its own like real life Tinder.
Oh yeah, you go to the Philippines, man?
You're just swiping burkas off.
Dude, Philippines snizzes is wild out there.
Yeah, you're in the
Army guys.
They go, I think if they could actually pitch the dudes and sell them on the idea that you're like, by the way, you're getting sniz here and you're getting sniz there.
Yeah. And your country won't hate you for being in the military.
I know. Yeah, but I'm not going to go to war for Israel personally. And by that, I mean, I'm too old for the army. Never plan on joining.
Bone spurs. Spurs in my ankles.
By that, I mean, there wasn't even any chance in hell that I was anywhere near the army at any point in my life.
No.
Nor could I even.
No, I will not die for Israel.
Yeah, or any other
country.
Any
other country for that matter.
I will not die for Israel. I will also not. I will not be going to the store for any girl I'm dating, and then also. I will not be fighting for a woman.
Yeah. Chick's like, hey, can you go pick me up? You go, I'm not fighting your fucking wars.
I'm not here to fight your wars.
She's like, I need tampons. You go, this is your battle.
I'm not here to fight your wars for you.
Yeah, I'm not here to fight your wars.
Whatever you got to do.
God gave you his hardest challenges. And
I think a lot of people are the expert talks coming back where they're saying like, everyone's talking about stuff that they don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Which is...
I mean, I haven't been to Iran, so...
Exactly, right?
Neither. Johnny, have you been to Iran? No, so none of us have been there.
It is my God-given right as a podcaster to talk about whatever the fuck is my God-given
Poorly.
Right.
Uninformed.
It is actually your God-given right as a podcast to talk about things that you have
absolutely
a minimal knowledge
that
about.
I just Googled an hour ago. Okay.
This is the point. What I was thinking though, I'm like, it is true that you're not an expert on certain topics, but what you maybe are an expert on is bullshit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the same way as like you go, oh, I don't have to be an expert on like marriage law to know that guy's shitty.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, we're in the opinion business.
But also I am, you go, a lot of people, they go, I'm not an expert at knowing the ins and out of this conflict. And you go, for one, every single thing that I know about, everyone disagrees. Uh-huh. And second of all, you go, yeah, but I don't need to know a thing to be able to be like, this guy's fucking up to something.
Also,
this guy's lying.
Yes. And we're also talking about predicting the future right now. So you're like, well, even the experts are going to be wrong about
By
predicting
the way,
future.
I bet you a lot of the people that claim to be such experts, then they come at you and they go, it's like a stock guy that's like, I'm an expert. And you go, then why did you run 4 hedge funds to the ground?
Exactly. And they go, well, I'm still an expert. They go, I can't predict the future.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you go, I don't know.
Yeah, because they try to make things like it's not politics. Like there's any fact in these things. Like there's not just like different factions.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like at the end of the day, like, you know, you can be like, hey, I oppose this war, and then you go, that's my thing is, you go, we're doing this, and I called it from the beginning where I go, this is a bad idea, and you go, okay, and then that's kind of a feather in your cap.
If you have good predictions.
Yeah, if you have good predictions, that there's a value to that. Certainly.
That would be a big thing if someone, every time they made predictions, they like if there was a podcast or every time they made their predictions. I know a lot of election people do this, but then they had their score of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that'd be great.
It takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at something, which is why Danny's an expert at giving head. And I had an old joke about that where a girl was saying she's like an expert at blowjobs or something. And it was like, 10,000 hours. She was like
shit to yourself.
Or she was a janitor in like the porn studio, and she was just like Goodwill Hunting style, where they came up and they're just like, yo, we need you to, you know, the porn star didn't show up, we need you to get involved. And she's like, but me? And she's just like writing a dick on the fucking on the wall.
She drew a perfect labia.
She drew a perfect labia. We need to get and then she's just like the Goodwill Hunting of dick sucking.
I mean, there is a reasonable thing though that a lot of people are not happy with Donald Trump right now, because he did promise that.
Because Israel split up every coalition.
Yeah, but he did promise. Donald Trump.
You promised.
He did promise. He goes, no, that, although I will say this, he goes, his promise was that America would not start any wars.
Oh, there you go.
So he's getting everybody on a technicality here.
He did say it would be 48 hours till he'd be out of every single conflict to be over.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But he goes, I won't start any new wars. Now, if Israel happens to start a war at America's behest,
exactly,
which I do believe that is what's going on, is that literally like fucking Trump was like, hey, Israel, go fucking do this.
I have a thing where I said I don't do
Well,
this.
he literally gave Iran, he goes, 60 days. He goes, you have 60 days to make a deal on this, on the nuclear thing.
Yeah.
And on day 61, Israel attacked Iran. Surely that cannot be a coincidence. Mm-hmm. That seems like that would be quite the crazy coincidence.
No, Ted Cruz was just on Tucker Carlson, basically being like, us and Israel going, okay, well, they're World War and we're helping.
We're going to war. He goes, we? And he goes, I mean, we as in like the royal we, as in like you and me, Tucker. Just us, but like mostly Israel. We're supporting them. I mean,
it's like if I was like, we're gay. Okay, well, not, and by that I mean Danny has tendencies and I support him.
I support him.
We are gay.
We are gay. You know, weird way to phrase it there, Teddy boy.
It is a weird way to phrase it. I was thinking though that like it is probably the biggest point is like if you look at a scenario where the argument for war in Iran to some degree is like, yes, this one's kind of different.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know,
and they said that every time.
Right. And you go, so at the very least, you go, it is possible that you go, it's not across the board always the move to never intervene ever in anything, right?
Sure.
But you go, when you generally, you can also look at it and you go, but you've done it too much.
Yeah, you did too much. Yeah.
So
it's
you go,
boy who cried wolf.
So it's actually not crazy for the burden of proof to be on you to like explain and not to just like expect, you know.
Yeah, I mean, Netanyahu goes, we have proof that Iran tried to kill Trump twice, that they were behind both of the assassination attempts. You go, now's a great time to give us that proof then.
They seem like they're sitting on a lot of proof.
Yeah, you go, okay, if that's the case, people would be really on board with this more. I don't know if the people who are not on board with this would even be on board with it if that was the case.
A lot of people are ideological right now.
But the thing is like, that's still like most, like I think CNN put out some poll and it's like 80% of Americans are in favor of this. of removing Iran. Dude, Iran's slogan is "Death to America."
Yeah.
Like they coined that term, and that is their literal slogan. So it's like, regardless.
What do you mean it's their slogan?
It's their country's slogan.
Is their
death-
tagline?
Yeah, it's like, dude, you know how like fucking like New Jersey.
What does
New
that mean, though?
Jersey
You
on
have
their
a s-
license plate says the Garden
Where does
State?
it say
their
that?
license plate says "Death to America."
Not on their license plates.
But that's the whole deal. It's like "Death to America."
Yeah.
Like there's that, that Australian. I think you met her before. She's like that Rita something.
I know who that is.
You know what we're talking about? She's like on the news, Sky News or something. But she's like grew up in Iran. She's like every day in school, like we sang "Oh Canada," they were like chanted "Death to America." Like they get them at a young age there. And regardless, I'm sure some people are like, yeah, America did some fucked up shit that justified that.
And they
position.
go, Iran used to be sweet back in the day too.
Or whatever. Like even assuming they go, America went and meddled and did things that justified the position that Iran now has of death to America. You're like, well, they still have that position, and you're like, those politicians are dead. Who caused that? And you're like, okay, well, what do you do now? But you're like, if they're all like death to America, you're like, you want them to have nukes? But it's like, I don't know. Probably rather than not.
Well, I think the first.
But again, also there's you can see Netanyahu for the past 30 years going on TV being like, they're 2 weeks away.
Now. Yeah.
2 weeks away. They're 2 weeks away.
He licks his finger and puts it in the air and he goes, I'm pretty sure that's Iranian. Uranium.
So I mean, there's a lot of. I don't think. My gut feeling.
It's just reasonable to be skeptical to known liars.
Of course. And my gut feeling is I think Trump does know. Trump's playing a slightly different game from the first time around, though, because he's not trying to get reelected, I guess. Maybe he is, but
he's playing the game of whoever he talked to this afternoon is who he agrees with.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't think he's gonna get, and I could be eating my words big time on this, but I don't think he's gonna. I think this is all a lot of bluster, art of the deal stuff, and not actually going to do is going to reach some kind of deal with.
I mean,
Iran.
that seems like a lot of the stuff he does is that, right?
Yes, but I mean, people said that about the tariffs, and there's tariffs everywhere. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I mean, again, it's like I don't know the new stuff because there's like the international energy whatever thing is when they're super liberal and they're just like, yeah, they're getting there. But then you're like, but you've also been saying this for fucking 30 years.
I know.
So you're like, I don't know. Yeah, maybe this is just muddying the waters so much. So you're like, I don't know what to believe. And then they just go in there. And also, America's track record with regime change, not great.
I know.
So,
and
I mean, the best scenario is you're just like, yeah, this is
but
a
even
real
if you
problem.
even if you say the track record for regime change isn't great, it's like on top of that, the track record for actually actually being like your reasons being the actual real reasons.
That too.
Like you go, I mean, so you go, first of all, I'm going to start from the position of whatever you're saying, it's not that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
They do have the third
go.
largest oil reserve in the world.
Yeah,
that might be part of it.
Yeah, they're just like, so you go, so it's like you look at it, you go, whatever you're saying, it's so not that.
Not that.
What- I don't know.
Whatever the official narrative is,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can automatically discount.
Yeah, whatever you're going with, I know it isn't that.
Yeah.
But behind that, is there ever a time where you have, some scenario where, you gotta
Where it is
intervene in
yeah,
some way
it is justified. Should you have a policy of just non-intervention? I know the libertarians would say yes. That should be the policy. It's just like don't intervene
ever, always, yeah.
ever, always, unless you are attacked.
It's almost an irrelevant point that don't intervene ever. It's kind of one of those things where you go, it's like the same way that like libertarians want no government. You're like, it's the like philosophical underpinning of like whether there should be any or none is almost irrelevant because they'll never get there.
Yeah, you'll never get there.
So really, you're just like, it doesn't even need to get to the point where you're like none ever. You're just like, well, we're so far past the middle of how much when you should and shouldn't. So you go, less than now is probably right.
Sure. And it's like, I guess the argument is, well, wait for them to attack us. And then they go, we don't want to do that. We'd like to attack them before they attack us. And it's just like, right.
It is.
And Iran can't even reach America. Like, Iran doesn't have any missiles. Like,
well, I think that if Greta joins the Iranian government, that actually...
Luckily, they have no chicks policy.
Yeah,
we dodged
they also have they let you trans though.
Oh, The chicks to the dudes.
If Greta comes up, he's like, I'm Greto.
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 Yeah.
Greta
But
Muhammad.
Iran doesn't even have any weapons that could reach America. I guess, there's a whole thing where Trump's like, well, Biden let in all these fucking Islamic terrorists through the border that came over through the southern border. So I guess if they're here, then I guess we can expect something. If that is the case.
If that is the case.
And if it's not, then I guess that's not a problem.
It really is, though, with a lot of conflicts. There's kind of like, there's usually like kind of some people being nuanced and then some people that are ideological. I find like in this one, it's almost like feels like everyone's ideological more than normal.
I mean, I understand if you're just like, I don't want my
but in a way that I feel like most people you talk to, they're just kind of like, even if they like people when they like watch stuff, they're almost just watching to see like a point that helps them.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's like more than normal
right now.
amount. Like I would say it's like 90% of people.
I mean, I say just let the mud people duke it out. And
let the mud people duke it out.
Yeah, just just let the mud people duke it out, and not our business until. But again, they're just like, well, we don't want them to make it our business. Like, I understand every side of it. I don't know. This isn't some. Everybody wants to be like, yo, this is simple.
That's kind of my point.
Yeah, you're like, this is a really simple answer here, and you're like, I don't think it is.
Right. That's kind of my point. There's every like 80% of people are like, this is a real.
Yeah, I go. I have this one principle, and we need to abide by this principle all the time. You go, well, that doesn't work.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't.
But I think the principle, that's why my kind of argument was like, it's almost like doesn't even get to the principle level because you're just like, you're going to have to cut through some other stuff first where you're like, okay, what is the act? First of all, you're lying. Mm-hmm. Second of all, like you have such a bad track record.
Yeah, terrible track record.
Third of all, I know that there's so many people just fucking clamoring for fucking to get in there.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like
there's
like it's, you know what I mean?
If you believe there is a deep state that is just like, runs this country and is installed above the president, you're like, they've been fucking itching for this for.
If you have a friend that like just really wants to kick the shit out of someone, he's been talking about for 30 years how he fucking wants to kick that guy's fucking teeth in,
yeah.
and then he comes up and he was like, I had no choice. You're like, okay, but
yeah, sure.
Dude, I have to kick the shit. He comes up, he goes, he did something that I have to kick the shit out, and you go, well, we're gonna need a bit more because
what specifically?
Your motives are
your motives are a little suspect right now.
Senator Lindsay Graham says, game on.
People are liking that. Game on.
Game on is nuts.
Game on is nuts, yeah. Especially when he posted that when America was still like, yeah, we're not getting involved here. This is Israel's problem. And then he's like, game on. You're like, game on? What do you mean?
Dude, I was fun, but every coalition, Trump and Tucker Carlson, Trump called Tucker Carlson kooky.
Oh, dude, you know his new one for the Ayatollah, the Cryatolla? Cryatolla is fucking incredible. Cryatolla is so good.
You call them the Cryatolla?
Cryatolla.
Yeah.
That Cryatolla might be one of the greatest nicknames.
Cryatolla.
Trump has ever come
Is that true?
Yeah, just like now. It was like a couple hours ago. Because he keeps saying he's going to do all this shit. Like last night, they were like, tonight will be remembered for hundreds of years, and then just like nothing happens.
Yeah.
He keeps saying all this crazy shit, and then just nothing happens. Cryatolla is incredible.
There's another page. There's like a fake country of Iran page on Twitter that was like posting like Israel's fucking gay, and then it was like going super viral. People like people are just getting cooked on fake things.
Oh yeah. It's very prevalent.
It's literally, this is literally the sketch. He just wants one more little Donnybrook in Iran. Then he's going to be on his way.
One last one.
Dude, Tucker Carlson is so funny because him and Trump are both like gossip girls. Like they're both like catty bitches.
Yeah.
I heard like a little like that from the podcast where he did with Ben, and everything is like, I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about him. It's just a little weird that he does this. I've known him for 50 years. I think he's a good guy. It's just that he wants this country to die and he wants your kids to be, but I'm not saying anything personally about him. I think him as a person, I actually find him to be very nice. He just wants your kids to be dead and he wants to bankrupt this country, but I'm not, he's like, that's exactly how he does it all.
Yeah. Very catty. Pretty good Tucker Carlson, actually.
I'm just saying that it's all,
sure.
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not, it's like,
I'm just saying, I'm not saying she's fat, but she does eat a lot.
Yeah, it's going, but Trump does the same thing in a different way, but it's going to your boss and being like, You know, I'm not saying you should fire her. She just hasn't showed up any day and for the last 6 months, and she's actually not done any of her work. And our company's actually doing a lot worse because of her. And we lost a lot of clients because she's such a bitch and no one likes her. But I'm not saying I'm not calling for anything to happen to her or anything like. It's funny because these guys have been around for a long time, so a lot of these people are his personal friends.
I know. I guess Tucker's kind of been cut off from all that stuff.
And he's unhappy about it, too.
He does not like it.
That's what I'm saying. Tucker's been cut off, he's unhappy about it.
I love him being like, yeah, Fox News is just like feeding slop to people. And you go, that was you. Like a year ago.
His argument is that I was the one guy not feeding the slop.
Yeah.
Because he had some arguments with them. So he was like, no, I was the least amount of slop.
Yeah, I was the least slop.
That's what he goes. He's been going hard on Fox News, but that's more Catty stuff. It's his employer that fired him, right? That's the ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, catch me on Fox News this Saturday night. 10 p.m. Sure.
There you go. So I've been loving the like Catty beefs.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely schisms have been
Everything's breaking apart.
Everything's breaking
But I still do believe that.
Dude, the amount of people that I know that seemed like they were friends that are now enemies that happened in the last 6 months.
I know. But I still think like I know you always make fun of me for this, where I tell you my friends who are like just don't know what's going on and all
Americans or Canadians?
Canadians.
Well, Americans are more tapped in for starters.
Don't think dude, my friend, I saw him on Thursday. His son was playing a hockey tournament at this mall over here. My friend didn't know who Mr.
When
Beast
you were
was.
growing up, did your parents watch cable news all the time?
Yeah.
But you had to understand that like some people in Canada, a lot of people in other countries like don't watch the news every night.
No, I know that.
That's a way more normal thing here.
He's like dude, he didn't know who Mr. Beast was.
Yes, you have a couple friends that are fucking in their
I'm telling you,
in their own little world.
My whole point is there's a lot more people like that. I'm just saying, you go on Twitter and you go, nobody in America wants to go to war
and there's also people that their entire life is sports.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I think it is a high percentage of
and
people.
it's lower than before with social media because these people are on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, but they're easily duped.
They used to just either they watch the news and read the paper. Now they're on Facebook. Now it's everywhere. People are tapped in.
Yeah.
Well, so all these things have millions and millions of views. Someone's watching it, Danny.
That's true. Yeah. But anyways, I think most Americans are actually fine with all this Iran stuff.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, they are. They're like, most Americans don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon, even though it potentially like wouldn't affect them really.
Yeah.
And they're still just like, yeah.
It is.
They just like it's
that's
in
why
their DNA.
But that's why these things are so. That's why these things are so powerful, because you're just like, well, should they have one? And you're like, and the argument is like, no. What are you, some like pussy that hates America? Like, you know what I mean? And you're just like, well, because the argument against that is not so like one sentence. It's more like complicated, where you're like, there's a lot of It's more of like a nuanced argument to say that. That should not be the first instinct, at least.
Yeah.
And they're just like, well, it's not the first.
I mean, there are people like you see people who are like anti-Israel who they're like, yeah, Iran should have nukes.
I've seen that too.
Yeah. They're like they hate Israel so much, but they're like pro-Iran, essentially Americans. That's weird. But so a lot of people are like, yeah, why are we enemies with them? Like, because there are people who are similar, like the Osama bin Laden revisionism stuff. Remember when the letter from Osama was going viral? And they go, yeah, we made them like that. So it's like we're at fault. It's like we caused them to hate us. So we should support them, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it is our fault. And you go, well, it was someone's fault. Yeah, but they still do hate you.
But it also shows you too, where you go, there's a lot of people with a lot of opinions, and none of those matter in reality. Like, do you think about those?
Trump's doing what Trump wants to do.
or he's doing what other people want him to do. But like, those people are not, who you might think are thought leaders. Like, thought leaders have, you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are like, I don't care if this loses me followers, but like, my tweets are going to make it to the president, and this matters that I oppose this.
Yeah, they're living in a different world over there.
20,000 followers.
I mean, it's the equivalent of like, when in this industry where all the networks were like, yes, we're going to make worse stuff, less people are going to watch it, and we're going to put girls in everything. You know what I mean? And they're just like, and you go, no one is liking this, and they go, we couldn't care less.
We don't give a shit.
Yeah.
In a weird way, you won't be able to comprehend this. This actually helps us keep our jobs longer.
Yeah, because we're getting in line. Yeah,
we're getting in line. We're not taking any risks. And
Right, I'll be here for the next 25 years, unless the whole thing goes under and you go, like when the network's going under, but this country's not going to go under. So I'm going to be here for a long time, and then I'm going to be writing books, and then I'm going to be wrong, and then I'm going to write a book on that, and then I'm going to write a book on the opposite, and I'm going to make money on both of them, and then I'm going to get a series.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to get a fucking sweet pundit gig where I come in and,
just give your opinion.
Yeah, someone finds some spot where I can be like a propagandist, and then that's the game that we're playing over here.
That is the game, yeah. But I don't know. I don't see it. Like, I don't see this being like some crazy Iraq, which is everybody's greatest fear, is this war on terror redux. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I guess it was just interesting to me that it was like, at the time, that felt like super popular, whereas now this feels like almost pretty not popular, and that doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like, at least at the time, that's why they needed their 9/11, right?
Yeah. They also they have all these fucking cool shit tankers and ships and stuff. They're like,
They have to do something with it.
What
are you going to do with all this shit?
Well, yeah, we just dock them? That seems stupid. Let's go scare the shit out of some fucking Middle Easterners.
Boys, I've been drinking AG1 every morning. The first thing that I do when I wake up, if you ever do take a couple days off or a couple weeks off, what you'll notice is you have less energy, your worse digestion, you become a little less regular. It's, that's one of the best signs of being on health is you are regular. You got
a clock, baby.
You got that figured out. Right now, I'll tell you how much I'm in AG1. I got 3 different ones. So I have 3 different, all of the 3 different AG1s from all the different generations.
Sure, yeah.
So I can wash them every time. So they keep improving too. They just improved the travel packs.
They taste amazing.
They taste great. It's got everything you need. And now AG1 has leveled up even more with their AG1 Next Gen. The upgraded formula has been clinically shown to increase healthy gut bacteria by 10x, all for the same price of less than $3 a day. Clinically backed with an upgraded formula, this is the perfect time to try AG1 if you haven't yet. Again, we've been drinking AG1 for years now, and we're happy to keep partnering with them because it is one thing that I do every single day. So subscribe today to get the Next Gen of AG1 for less than $3 a day. If you use our link, you're going to get a free gift with your first order. So make sure you check it out. That is drinkag1.com/boyscast to get started with AG1's Next Gen. Notice the benefits for yourself. That is drinkag1.com/boyscast. Boys, at True Classic, the mission goes beyond fit and fabric. It's about helping guys show up with their confidence and purpose. The gear fits right, feels amazing. It's priced so every guy can step into them with confidence and it's without stepping out on their budget. Right now, I don't even know how many I have right now, maybe like 10.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's the big thing, probably, there's a whole, check out the site, but one of the number one things you should know about True Classic is it fits you the right way.
Yeah.
So
it
it makes your arms look good, gives you a little extra support around the belly. And by the way, you might not even be that out of shape, but you're just bending over a bit. It's just like...
Of course. And they fit nice. They feel nice.
They fit nice. They feel nice. It's a classic that's affordable. And this is the most type of shirt where it's like, if you get on these, you'll start realizing you're like, I use this one for this is here. And if you stopped, like if this company went under, after you got on board, you wouldn't be a happy camper. You know what I mean?
You'd be going to the edges of the earth trying to find these.
Yeah, because it becomes part of your routine and you realize that they have so many purposes, They can be gym shirts, they can be kind of formal shirts. Yeah. You can be out at a restaurant, you can be out at a beach, When you're wearing True Classic, you can feel the difference the moment you throw it on. Tailored where you want it, relaxed where you need it. No bunching, no stiff fabric, no BS, just a clean, effortless fit that actually works in your real life. Forget overpriced designer brands, ditch the disposable fast fashion. True Classic is built for comfort, built to last, and built to give back. You can grab them at Target, Costco, or you can head to trueclassic.com/boyscast. Get hooked up today. Pop on over. Tell them you sent us at trueclassic.com/boyscast to get hooked up today.
We got some hot we got some hot off the press reporting from Taylor Lorenz right now. It says, on Monday, I reported on an anti-ICE protest taking over Roblox. One of the kids I interviewed texted me this morning to share that the Roblox protesters are now facing police violence. This is the text. It goes, hello, I was in a Roblox ICE protest, but then we all got shot by the police.
all dead.
We're all dead in Roblox. But it's funny because then there's some piece of shit kids who are like going in Roblox and goes, I'm going to be the police.
Yeah.
They're just sure. I might have to download Roblox. I don't know what the hell it is, but I might have to get in there and fucking bust some skulls.
Citizen Danny.
Yeah, so just citizens arrest everybody. That's
There wasn't that much mayhem at the No Kings protest as much as the California.
Did you peep it?
No, I didn't end up going. I wasn't that interested. I don't know. That wasn't doing it for me.
Yeah, I didn't. It was peaceful protest, except for there was the one guy who accidentally.
It was raining too. That's the big one.
Yeah,
it was raining.
It was raining. Yeah. But there was one guy who accidentally shot somebody.
I didn't know that. What happened?
There was an accidental shooting. Some leftist protester accidentally tried to shoot somebody and then obviously missed and then killed somebody else.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about the shooting of?
It was I think it was in Milwaukee or something, or Utah.
Who are they trying to shoot?
So a protester shot and killed at No Kings rally in,
I didn't realize that.
In Utah. A man who was believed to be a part of a peacekeeping team for the No Kings protest in Salt Lake City shot at a person who was brandishing a rifle at demonstrators. Oh, no, he struck both the rifleman and a bystander who later died at the hospital. So, and then I don't know why someone was carrying a rifle. Maybe it was a counter protester. But then the bystander was this guy, a fashion designer from Samoa.
So you're saying like the guy who was carrying the rifle might have been like allowed to have a gun, where he's like,
oh, he's definitely allowed to have a gun, and then I guess the other person was allowed to have a gun, and then I guess shot him for some reason.
So there was some ruckus.
Yeah, there was a little ruckus, but not too much. It was mostly peaceful, and not in like the George Floyd mostly peaceful way.
Well, the astrologers have weighed in, which I always like when the astrologers weigh in on Trump.
What are they saying?
For Trump's birthday, this is what they say for the No Kings thing. For Trump's birthday, astrologers analyzed his chart, and it's going to be one hell of a year. Hot prediction, though. Six months into the presidency, there might be some...
it might be some fireworks.
yeah. That's so funny. It'd be like... I did all the math on Donald Trump's birth sign, and it's like, I bet you there's going to be a lot of like stuff happening.
It's going to be quite busy.
Donald Trump is many things. The president of the United States, a convicted felon, and a Gemini who will celebrate his birthday on June 14th. Trump's solar return chart means he and America are in for a year we won't forget.
Oh, okay.
But they're like crazy. By the way, this is the girl, the astrologer chick. Her best prediction is she said that Joe Biden might have some health problems.
Oh,
so this girl's only bangers. She was able to predict that a 97-year-old man might have some health problems,
sure.
And she says there might be some chaos surrounding Donald Trump.
Pretty good. They're never wrong.
Trump's solar return means they will have a year that we won't forget. For astrologers like Catherine Urban, it's significant that Trump's Gemini sign is the most visible point on his solar return chart. This means that Trump definitely is going to be in the spotlight this year.
Okay. She hasn't been wrong yet. I mean, it's a
good prediction. It's like saying I predicted in the next 8. I actually looked at your horoscope, Danny, and it said in the next 3 years you're gonna have a slice of pizza.
Never wrong.
This could bring things to light, perhaps things that he doesn't want to get brought to light. Similarly,
Epstein?
Yeah, I think she might be pointing out Epstein stuff.
Wink to the Epstein list.
Similarly, astrologer Celeste Brooks noted that Trump's sun is at the 12 o'clock position on his solar return chart. It means his ego and identity are at the midhaven point in astrology speak. This chart position means the things he does this year are maybe going to have a legacy. So, President of the United States of America is
will do things that people
two
remember.
non-consecutive terms might be remembered in some way.
Might do some notable things this year.
He's gonna have a legacy. It's the craziest. Uranus is what we call the wild card planet because a planet of resistance. In Trump's chart, Uranus is in a square or at a 90-degree angle to Mars, the planet of action, which for astrologers mean tension is in the near future.
Trump tension?
When that happens, it means there's a lot of friction. So there also might be some friction.
There might be some friction. Might be butting heads with some people. Maybe some disagreements.
There might be even a disagreement, judging by the astrology sign.
Sounds like it.
Judging by the astrology sign, there might be some disagreements, and then most importantly, Joe Biden's having some health problems.
Hey, man. Guy's got cancer.
No fucking
Get better, Joe.
Yeah, get better.
Any other hot predictions from this fucking astrologer?
No, but I thought that this was the I thought this was the funniest. I guess maybe you'd say like the most dishonest article of all time was the veteran stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That was the media doing real slop as its finest.
Oh, this is a slop fest right here.
This is probably the most slop fest I've seen because basically, and this is, I have the Guardian, the murray.senate.gov. I have there's like 4 different places, right? But the Murray was actually the one that I was going to say what actually happened. So what happened was basically the veteran services, because of all the like trans stuff they did, they made like changes to the language on the site. And during those changes, they also had removed like a sentence that said doctors can not treat people based on their marital status or their race or their political affiliation and all this stuff. But when they asked them about it, they're like, yeah, all those stuff are already illegal. So I think their argument was like, there was a point where some of that stuff wasn't mandated by law, but now it's all federal law, so we didn't really need to have it in there anymore because it's already, you can't say like, oh, you're a veteran that's a woman, you're not getting your services. So
imagine.
Well, that
like I love that these people though, they go, hey, that's happening.
Right. Well, that's
Someone
what they
served
said.
their country, and they go, I'm sorry that you have cancer, but you're a woman.
Yeah, but you're Samoan, so no.
Yeah, so no.
And these are the articles that they released. Extremely disturbing. New rules allow VA doctors to refuse to treat Democrats and unmarried veterans. Another one. Trump administration allows VA doctors to deny care to unmarried women and Democrats. So they have a bunch of them. But it's funny because it was basically they just removed a thing, and their argument is kind of like, well, it's like it's illegal.
Yeah, it's federally illegal to discriminate on these grounds. So.
It's like I don't need to. It's like kind of when we say that the stores have the like we serve all races, and you're kind of like, well, yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I always love the bong shop that's like we serve black people, and you're like, oh my god.
I mean, I don't. You know, there are a lot of places.
Plus that other bong shop down the street where no gays.
Yeah, there are a lot of places though in New York City that don't allow you to shop with a shiesty on, and that's targeting a specific group.
You have to get creative, right? Like you have to say like you can't just say no women. We have to say like no overly emotional people.
Yeah, I mean those no shiesty rallies are pretty problematic.
That's been a big Eric Adams one. He's been fighting against the shiesties.
I mean, shiesties is crazy. It's like literally I wouldn't trust anybody of any race walking into my business wearing.
It is the most suspicious looking fucking.
It's literally what
you're wearing a ski mask.
Yeah, you're wearing a ski mask. It's like it's understood that that's what people who are robbing you are wearing. And then they go, no, it's just the culture.
Doctors at departments of veteran affairs, hospitals nationwide could refuse unmarried women Democrats under the hospital guidelines imposed following executive order to Trump. They've already gone into effect. That's not like, imagine like just stating for real that there's any possibility that someone was a veteran and then comes to, goes to the hospital to get served and they're just like, you're a snowflake. What what?
Oh, you're an unmarried woman? Sorry.
Yeah.
We have a new class that we're discriminating against.
Hey, I think I have strep throat. You're like, well, that's funny because you're black, so beat it.
I don't see a ring on that finger.
Yeah. I don't see
Did it fall off in the accident? Well, then, can't help you.
VA press secretary was like, no, obviously not.
Obviously no. My favorite is, the articles where they have a premise and then they interview someone that like discredits the entire premise and they still but they're like, but I already wrote like 4,000 words, so I guess I'll just kind of bury that near the end. They go, yeah, we looked into it. This is total bullshit, but
yeah, we've asked the guy who was in charge of the whole thing and he said no. Anyways, married women are fucked. They're going to be dying on the streets.
Yeah, you're like, okay. Usually you should just ask that question first and be like, no article here.
Yeah.
They're just like, nope, we need an article.
No, basically they're like, we're going to take down our version and we're in compliance with federal law now. But that is something else to be turning that.
Yeah. I mean, that's just this is the Guardian. They're just fucking fear factory. Why don't you fucking write about your own shit, Guardian?
By the way, I don't like that. Exactly. I don't like that. There's a festival called Heterofest, and they didn't ask me to be it.
You can sign up. You can sign up to be an influencer.
There's a thing. It's called heteroawesome.org, and it's a festival for heterosexual people.
Will Smith is playing.
I'm going obviously.
Will Smith's playing.
That's the anthem of Heterofest. I like pretty girls.
I mean, there is a link here if you want to become an ambassador.
We're not here to fleece the flock, and we're here to fight for family. Every damn dollar proves it. Here's the line in the sand. The founder is Mark Fitzpatrick. Do you know who that guy is?
I don't. I think I've seen him. I think I've seen him on what's that fucking the podcast where they
Hetero Awesome
own retarded chicks. The
whatever podcast?
Yeah, whatever. That's it.
He was on there?
I think I've seen him on that one.
The Heterofest guy?
The Heterofest guy, yeah.
This is a pretty funny guy to be like your chick's like your new friend that you've been hanging out with a lot. You go, what does he do? He's like, he's a founder of Heterofest.
Heterofest. He's the chief ambassador of Heterofest.
Yeah, so I'm pretty hetero. I guess you could say I'm pretty fucking straight.
Why don't you apply to be an ambassador?
Oh, I'm gay? Okay, well then why am I the chief ambassador at Heterofest? That would be the ultimate scandal that would be way bigger than the Republican governors if you find out one of the Mark Fitzpatrick from Heterofest has been sucking off dudes.
Hanging out at the bathhouse.
Hetero Awesome Declaration of Non-Grifting Badassery. Where this is, what was the other one? Then there was the
Red Pill one?
Yeah, there was the Red Pill Festival.
Bring your wives?
I think this is like they're doing their...
This is a charity, though.
Straight pride thing.
Yeah, this is like a straight pride charity, essentially.
We're lean, mean, and clean. Family first warriors, not fat cat frauds. Truth is our currency, and it's not for sale. The battle lines of heterosexual awesomeness. Hell yeah.
No apologies.
That's my kind of shit, man. And you could catch me at Heterofest.
Dude,
just doing fucking straight guy things.
Here's the thing. You can apply to be an ambassador and you would probably be accepted. This is what it says. Join the ambassador team.
I would be pretty sick being an ambassador for Heterofest. I'd put that on all my socials.
It says,
I'm top hetero.
Got the guts to stand with Heterosexual Awesomeness, Inc.?
I don't think Danny does have the guts.
Do you have the guts?
You also don't have the sexual resume either.
No, we're hunting for fearless, truth-chasing warriors.
We're not hunting for dick. That's what... They need to put more stuff like that in here, like just because they're promoting the straight stuff, but they need to. I'd like
anti-gay.
I would like at least 1 or 2 lines of being like, also we're not gay.
Yeah, we're not gay.
Just to clear that up, if anyone thinks we're gay, you got the wrong. Keep scrolling.
Yeah,
you're in the wrong place if you think there's any gay shit going on here.
Yeah, no pay, no grift, just pure mission with travel cash and merch if you're repping us on the road. So we'll get some merch.
Straight pride merch.
Straight pride merch.
Hetero merch.
Yeah. And they don't care if you're a perfect choir boy.
What does that mean?
I think you could have some skeletons in the closet, you know?
As long as you're... Yeah, that's... So it's sort of
It's like I killed a prostitute. Man or woman.
Man or woman.
Woman. You're in.
So they don't give a shit what you're up to as long as at the end of the day you crush pussy. That's the one thing we get together.
Well, you can't crush pussy, though, because it's a family thing.
Well, they don't mind if you have some skeletons.
You can crush your wife's pussy.
But they think you can. But they don't mind if you crushed a few on the side.
Yeah, exactly. They go, as long as you're like have a family, you're cranking out kids with your wife. If you got a couple Gumars, that's no biggie.
As long as you don't have any Kumars.
Gumars accepted. Kumars are not.
Definitely not accepted.
Yeah.
I definitely could consider being an ambassador for Heterofest. You weren't invited, probably, but everyone fucking knows I was invited and Danny wasn't invited.
They lost me at no pay.
Right. And they lost you at no gay.
God damn it. Shit.
I wanted to do a thing saying that the Pride Festival wasn't getting enough money, so asking people if they would do the hashtag gay for pay to try to, because we think they should need more money for the Pride Festival, and we hope that you, if you care about Pride, you should post no hashtag gay for pay.
I love how punitive Canada is, by the way, with this stuff, where all the companies were like, we're not giving money for Pride, so then they're like, okay, well then we just need to set aside tax dollars to make up for it. So it's like
they put tax dollars for that.
That's what they're saying now. They're going, well, if literally like if these companies are not going to,
CIBC doesn't want to step up,
and Home Depot and Google don't want to kick in, then I go, I guess everybody has to pay for it then. How's that sound?
Homony? Homony. The battle lines of heterosexual awesomeness are unyielding front where we plant our flag, truth, liberty, no retreat. So it's kind of just like a right-wing thing, but
yeah, it's just a right-wing.
But they're the premise of the whole thing is that they crush pussy, their wife's pussy.
Yeah.
Crushing lies, big pharma's pill pushing scams. So it's kind of a little of everything. It's kind of like how gay pride parade starts as about dudes banging each other, and then at the end of it, it's kind of about Palestine.
Yeah.
I think that's what's happening here a little bit, that their straight pride's really about, big pharma's bad.
Sure. They eventually, latch on to all the things.
Exposing human trafficking. Okay, that's not a bad thing for a straight pride to be doing. Human trafficking is a good avenue for them, because you're just like, people are like, straight pride, like, oh, that's offensive. You're like, yes, stopping human trafficking is offensive. Mm-hmm. And they're just like, yes.
That's fine.
We've got 7 non-negotiable stands. Each one a hill will die on to protect the family values. This is where we fight and where we win, armed with grit and God's design. So it sounds pretty straight to me.
Yeah, it's in Boise, Idaho.
The truth. It's more, it's a lot of kind of normal stuff. It hasn't, I was expecting this to be like a little funnier. Sexuality is at the heartbeat of traditional family values. Get it right. Families flourish, twist, and they fracture. God's design for one man, one woman, building kin and purpose, not a playground for chaos. Porn's a wrecking ball, so it's anti-porn, all this stuff.
Yeah, and
so you're kind of losing me
porn,
a little
Ryan?
bit. Right. I'm sure that it ggets into that territory a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Ian Carroll's like the main guy.
Right, so he doesn't like Israel.
No.
Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
Fair to say?
Fan.
But I think if you're going to have a straight pride, they're making you want to attract people, right? Their straight pride is kind of like, this is a fun family event. I think straight pride needs to be like, a bunch of dudes like, who'd you smash last night? Like,
yeah.
Smell my fingers. How many kills you got?
Yeah.
Just people showing like, nudes of like girls they smashed.
No, I mean, that would be in a perfect world, but the problem is you mix in the Christianity element of it, and then you go, kind of waters it down a little bit.
Obviously, this is what you're going to get.
But there's ice cold beer.
You're not going to get. Is there ice cold beer?
There is ice cold beer.
If there's ice cold beer, I might be back in. But I'm way more picturing like a bunch of guys there being like, pussy rules.
Yeah.
And
my wife's pussy rules.
Well, then I would say that would make it less appealing.
Sure.
If I was there and it was me and 20 guys being like,
I mean, this is like Project 2025, the festival.
Just to start this, put your hand up if you love pussy. Everyone puts their hand up and they're like, sick.
Yeah.
And then one guy's like, yeah, and also I love my wife. And then everyone goes, and everyone kind of leaves. And they go, it's just down to 2 guys.
Not that kind of event, I guess.
So I'm here for the straight pride. When does the pussy come in? And they're like, you have to bring your own, and it has to be your wife. And you're like, what the fuck? It's
what?
BYOP? I don't want to go to BYOP Heterofest.
BYOP Heterofest, no good.
Free from the sleaze, free from the agendas. Yeah, I think that want a little bit of sleaze.
I think they might have a couple agendas. I don't know if it's agenda free.
Pushing delusions like trans fantasies. Sexuality should forge bonds and birth life, not spiral into cesspits of violence and trend chasing. We're here to guard it, call out the enemies who pervert it. Yeah, I think that, listen, they got their thing going on. It's just kind of like a right-wing it's just like a conservative conference, really.
It's literally, it's just like Project 2025 shit.
It would be, in my opinion, funnier if it was a bunch of guys talking about how being straight's so sick and they love pussy.
That would be, yeah. That's Will Smith Fest.
They have a health thing, America First, God. Yeah, you can be an ambassador. And they do a bunch of events. You think Russell Brand's going to be baptizing anyone at Heterofest?
Oh, yeah, in the dunk tank.
The dunk tank. That's so funny. Russell Brand has a baptism dunk tank.
Throw the ball at it?
No, what happened? Yeah, Russell Brand sits on the thing with you.
Yeah.
And it's above the holy water.
And then just everyone's pelting it with fucking softballs.
Yeah, everyone, they pelt it with like, what's it called? The body of Christ?
Oh, yeah,
like
a wafer?
Yeah, but like a heavy body of Christ.
Communion, like a dense communion wafer.
Body of Christ, baseball ball. And then when it hits the thing, then Russell Brand's like holding you and then he dunks you back under and that's how you get baptism. You've been delivered. Do you think that Heterofest is going to have any, in the closet guys who like turned around?
Oh yeah, always. There's always a couple.
You think that like straight fests always right, like that kind of thing is.
Well, there's always a couple of guys who are like, because there's gay guys who hate that they're gay,
And then they get really being into straight. Yeah.
So then they're just like, well, obviously I wouldn't be gay if I'm going to hetero.
Yeah, like a lot of the biggest atheists who like it's their identity, it's like they grew up having to do it.
Yeah, the problem is that if this gets any kind of scale, then the gays just show up and ruin it. Like,
What would the gays show up?
well, they just counter protest. Like they almost like, oh, you want a hetero thing, and then they just really queer it up.
Well, you are right, because if you went to Straight Fest and you had to look out the window and there was all these like gays swinging their dick around, you'd be
Right.
like, this is actually the gayest event I've ever been to in my life.
Yeah, you're like, I thought I could bring my kids to this. The fuck?
You're right. The gays can switch it up pretty.
Yeah. If the gays want to do a funny little bit here, there is a real opportunity for them.
Guy shows up to Straight Fest wearing a ball gag.
That'd be good. Good video for you. Show up to Awesome Fest, just interviewing people with a ball gag in. They can't understand you at all.
What's up? Ryan straight. Don also straight. Being straight's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just like a support group for guys who are straight, and there's actually nothing wrong. I don't even need support. Just like to, you know.
Just like to just let the world know.
And I don't care who knows. That's Will Smith 100% is the theme song though.
Yeah.
Society may have overestimated the risk of the manosphere, UK researchers said, which is so fucking funny to me, because finally there's like a lot of articles this week where they've actually done the studies, and they're all kind of like, actually there's a lot of pretty normal, well-adjusted people that are that watch workout content and stuff like
workout
that.
content is not this pipeline to renting a fucking panel van and running over a bunch of people.
Yeah, I know. But they've come to the conclusion that they're backtracking all their going crazy.
Yeah. I mean, well, I guess they finally finished some science,
Who do you think? How there was the Minnesota shooter.
Yeah. I haven't been able to kind of figure this one out.
I was hoping you had.
Everybody's like, this guy's a Republican, this guy's a Democrat.
That's the first thing I do as soon as there's a shooting. I'm desperately.
What side's he on? Yeah,
what fucking side's he in, so I can know if I'm mad or
it was
not.
really creepy. He had that like latex mask, like showing up, pretending to be like a fake cop and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And like he had like sirens and stuff.
Well, he had a roommate. Basically, he worked for Walls.
Yeah.
And then he also has a roommate that was like, no, he was like a MAGA guy.
No, I think.
And then his wife was like a Democrat or something.
No, the roommate I thought he said was not a MAGA. And I thought the roommate said he's like, no, he's a. Oh yeah, the roommate said he's a MAGA guy.
But the roommate's funny because he says, instead of Joe Biden, he says Jim Biden. He goes, the Minnesota shooter's suspect childhood friend David Carlson claimed that Boltler is a Trump supporter and voted for him. However, MAGA rallied against Carlson after he claimed a widely shared video that Boltler served Tim Walz but did not like him. The pal added that he also didn't like Jim Biden. He wasn't a Democrat. He didn't like Jim Walz and he didn't like Jim Biden. He listened to InfoWars. That's what Boltler says.
I don't know. I mean,
sometimes you can't place those guys neatly on the spectrum.
The thing is,
like when a guy gets radicalized like that, a lot of times they don't fit neatly on the spectrum.
No, and some people are just literally batshit nuts. Like you have to sometimes be like, yeah, some people are just like batshit crazy. They're not like these super, like rational, like
Unfortunately, on the world we live in, though, that's you have to own your crazies, right? So the side has to own their crazies.
You got to own your crazies, and also obviously, like the Democrats are like, we want this guy to be a Republican, so then we can be like, we need gun control and blah 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 blah. It's easier if
obviously it's easier if then you can go give your speech of being like, look at the rhetoric with these guys.
Yeah, exactly. You can be like, yeah, well, sure, the Democrats are killing people, but then they're also killing people.
Yeah, it's hard, but apparently this guy was hard to place because everyone was arguing. Nah, it's your.
I know. I couldn't. I
honestly
couldn't figure it out because you just see so many conflicting things where you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, and a very sure of themselves.
Of course. Oh yeah. Real shoot first, ask questions later. They're just like, this is who this guy is. And then,
people are out there immediately. They have this new dating site that they're trying to do. They go, new dating site matches singles based on their browser histories.
Oh.
Yeah, it's that funny. They take your 500 most recent searches and then turn them into, imagine.
Yeah, your last 500 searches are where to buy ammonium nitrate, and you go, I found somebody for me.
I mean, or if you're just fucking deep porn guy and then they're like, this girl had like almost the same search, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, totally. Or you might be like, oh.
Just a real fucking sicko.
A real freak, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, that could be good. I mean, I guess there's something to.
I had no interest in wouldn't I have no interest in signing up for a dating site and giving them access to my browser history either.
I don't even like that Google has access to my browser history
I don't like that ChatGPT has access to what I've asked it.
and saves it all.
I mean, dude, I think most people right now, if you were to take their like ChatGPT history and then be like, let me read your last 20, it would be like, you're like, ugh. I guess mine's not that bad because I use it for work, but you know.
Yeah, my ChatGPT is like pretty normal. I ask it like recipe ideas and stuff.
Oh, really?
Sometimes.
How do you make,
how do you make this?
How do you make a bomb?
It literally, dude, it's like, it is the best. How do you make, it is the best thing for that too, because like, if you ever try and like find a recipe online, it's like, takes you to someone's website. There's like a million ads and you can't even find like how to make a thing. And then like, it's either YouTube or ChatGPT. Google's become like useless for that shit.
Yeah, it is. I've found that too, that it's hard to like find things there. And now that you've had ChatGPT too, going back, you're just like, I can't sift through 90 people telling me 90 different things.
Well, just like, I mean, even like the articles we cover, because nobody pays for anything anymore. Everything's ad based. So then like they have these new mechanisms where they set up these sites where like, you just have to scroll through like, you know, it'll be like a paragraph, 10 ads. And you're just like, this is impossible.
They do make it
like,
hard to watch.
The user experience is terrible.
I know.
Like, I know that they're like, well, then we couldn't exist otherwise because nobody pays for this shit. But you're like, this is impossible.
Some of these places have a lot of subscribers. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, obviously like the main ones. I'm talking about like, you know, sometimes there'll be like a blog or something and you go, this is like fucking unusable.
Here's a good blog. Help. I want to be dominated, but I'm too big.
How big we talking?
How big we talking?
How big are we talking?
It's a funny problem. She's a woman.
Okay.
A beast, and she can't be dominated.
How beastly.
Before the pandemic started, I finally came to terms with my near exclusive attraction to other women after 2 years of hooking up with men. I'm an average height, 240 pounds.
What's average height for a woman? 5'5"?
She's, so 5'5", 240.
240.
Lesbian.
Whoa.
It's a big girl. It's a back catcher, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a backhoe.
I want to wrestle and be physically dominated. I want to wrestle and be physically dominated in my bed. Due to my size and people-pleasing nature, I get stuck in the dominant position with my partners.
I figure she gets just stuck on her back.
Yeah, she gets stuck.
Get her on her back. She goes, can't get up.
She goes, I'm happy to please others, but I don't get much personal satisfaction when I'm not being restrained. Restrained is pretty funny too. Just like the big, like ropes. Just
sure.
The girl's just trying to restrain her. She has to take a rope and like walk all over, and then tie it to the thing. Just restrain her like she's a beast.
Yeah,
I'd like to be restrained. Boof, boof.
Put her in a fucking cage, I guess.
Yeah, maybe put her in a cage. This feels shitty to say when my date, while otherwise attractive, doesn't have the physical means to hold me down. How can I communicate this desire to my potential partners, or can I only date bigger and stronger women?
That's going to be tough to find a bigger woman than 240.
That's too big women.
The problem is if you find a bigger woman than 240, she probably physically like doesn't have the cardio to like keep you down.
300-pound women don't have the cardio to lift you up and to keep you down.
Yeah, and like to pin you down. You're like, you want to grapple with a fucking 300-pound woman? It's just like, you guys are going to just be like, she's winded.
It's so funny, 2 300-pound girls trying to dominate each other, just whipping once and needing a break.
Snack break.
This is their solution. Have you considered restraint with objects, rope, cuffs, all tape, popular options? The benefit is some kind of bondage that enables the person to restrain another person regardless. So she's saying like leverage kind of thing, right? That's what I'm thinking. So, the way that you have like a jet ski on the back of a a jet ski on the back of a tow bed.
Yeah.
And you have those, so where she's kind of like, you can put the strap behind your shoulder and then
like a winch.
Yeah.
Winch them up.
That's how you restrain her.
I guess. Yeah, I don't even know how you.
She's a big girl, man. You can't even get your arms around her to choke her.
No. You'd have to use rope or something.
Yeah, they have to do, they have to get like sort of a Boy Scout knot, and then they have to tie it to the door, and then they kind of use their foot to like push the...
Might not get her through the door.
She might not get through the door.
Yeah, you might not even get her through the door.
And she goes, you might be able to restrain with the bondage if you do it with leverage.
Maybe double handcuffs.
Double hand, yeah, maybe. But I think that's
a single set of handcuffs, she's not getting around there.
That is so funny. Just like a big beast on the bed, and they handcuff her to the bed, and she goes, just rips the fucking bedpost off. She's like,
destroying my whole place. Yeah, this is like, she needs like industrial bondage gear.
Yeah, or just like, you have to find an even bigger beast.
I don't know.
Trans women would be good for her.
She probably doesn't like that though.
She might though.
She might, yeah.
The restraints are thoroughly applied. You can pull and thrash against them in a way that you might be hesitant to with a person for fear of hurting them. So she's saying, because the person's putting these restraints on, and then she's kind of just like flying across.
Right.
She throws the girl across the room.
Yeah, she just needs like a sailor to come in and just rig her up like a fucking schooner.
She needs an old pirate who can untie any knot and just comes in. Arr, you know,
I'm here for the bondage.
Captain Ahab. he comes in. Oh, where's the client?
Oh, that's a beast like I've never seen before.
In all my years of the 7 seas, I've never seen such a beastly woman.
Reminds me of a blue whale. But much more angry.
A fight that I've had on the 7 seas that I near didn't come back from. That's how I lost this dear finger.
Dude, literally giving like the fucking captain, like a boat captain, PTSD when he sees how big this chick is.
Yeah, and he's putting the straps around her neck, and the girl starts walking. He goes, "Oh, hold back! That's how you lose a finger, there, darling. She needs to be properly restrained.
Get me my bucket of fish."
She's like, and you have to throw a fish at her. So this is my advice. Our advice is that you hire a pirate who can untie any knot, and he knows his way around the 7 seas.
Yeah, you need a sea captain.
And he has a bucket of chum to keep your mouth occupied so that you don't bite when he's putting
keep you distracted.
Keep you distracted while he's putting the...
She just swallows them without chewing. It's just like... tire fish.
Yeah, the girl comes in ready to do her dominating.
Yeah.
And you go, "Where's the captain?" She goes, "Sorry."
Oops. I ate him again. I ate another captain.
Oh no, his wooden leg is doing some damage in my digestion tract. That's so funny. Yeah, she's trying to tie around her. She's standing up, so she has to run around her with the rope, and then eventually she just tuckers herself out and runs out of rope before she gets there.
Yeah, that seems like that would be a tough one.
I mean, it would be a tough one. She's trying to do the bondage, like put her in the sex swing, and then just sucking the roof, then through the floor, and then through the other floor, and then through the other floor.
Yeah, you tie her. I mean, she's
Hey,
smash
first world problems, huh?
First world.
You're 300 pounds and you want someone to dominate you, and it also has to be a girl.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I have the answer, actually. I figured out
One of the grabby arms?
Samoa.
A Samoan.
You need a Samoan woman.
You need a fucking
You need a
Samoan
lesbian
football
Samoan
player.
woman. They're big girls right there.
Yeah, lesbian Samoan football player.
Honestly, there is no...
With a name like Takamanada.
There is no shortage of 300-pound Samoan women who probably are, like, pretty strong, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Athletic,
like strong. You need a Samoan.
That's the actual advice. Yeah, because this person's giving her bad advice. She was like, raid the home hardware and turn your house into like a fucking dungeon so they can get the maximum of leverage of just like just like nonstop pulleys and levers so that you can get choked.
Yeah, so you get choked. You need a Samoan big ass hands.
Also, I didn't want to go too deep into the father stuff immediately in the episode, but there was one more where it says, "What do you get a dad for Father's Day? Here are some ideas for the non-deadbeats." And it was a woman that wrote this as a New York Post article with a woman that just like clearly hated her dad, and she just decided to write article basically being why my dad sucks.
Okay.
Most passive aggressive.
She really does not like her dad.
It's the most passive aggressive article of all time. Father's Day is upon us. Wowee has the
well, aren't you lucky?
Has all the excitement of mayonnaise on hot dog. The special day that began in 1910. Why? Who knows? It began after. It's funny how Father's Day pissed these people off so much.
Oh, I imagine she doesn't have a father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Father's Day really grinded a lot of people's gears.
Yeah, I mean, if you fucking, I'm sure you have a sore spot for Father's Day.
Wait till they find out about Heterofest.
If your father abandoned you when you were a baby.
Why? Who knows? Maybe someone needed to get rid of a leftover sweater. Activist Anne Reeves. She's an activist, turns out. Yeah.
Don't you say?
Whoever it was, thought the mothers of the Confederate and Union soldiers could come together, paving the way for papas. Why? Who knows? I only know now Osmode into cheap cologne and crappy silk ties, and a wish for the kids to get out of the John so he could get in. So you go, Cindy, you doing all right over there? I never knew my father. There we have it.
Of course.
I never actually saw, touched, or smelled him till I was 14. I know Sunday is Father's Day. Mazel tov. If you're going to get mad at Dad, question is what to get him. The latest Father's Day gift coming to show people is called bowling for alimony. It's just that on Father's Day, the gift is cheaper and paid for on his credit card. So it's sort of like a poem that she just made about how much she hates her dad.
She really hates her dad. Yeah, this is her most recent article. The Weinstein drama is a painful reminder that many of us have a Harvey in our lives, myself included.
Who's her Harvey?
I don't know. I don't want to read it.
Her dad.
Probably her dad. It is for sure her dad.
Yeah, Father's Day was really getting on people's
Man, you can
nerves.
really fuck up a kid, huh?
I know.
It's real easy. It's like one of those those vinegar baking soda volcanoes. Just add two things there and kablamo, you ain't going back.
And there was another one that's Santa Clara University. Santa Clara University's crazy idea of human sexuality. So what happened is this girl is going to the university to be like a therapist, right? And she wants to be like a family therapist. But in the course, they have to do these mandatory courses, and all of them are like all this like super heavy sexual stuff. And she started like writing articles about, you know, some of the stuff the professors are making her doing and all this sort of shit. And it's like so funny. I'm a graduate student in marriage and family therapy at Santa Clara. Recently, I walked into class and the prof had just played a video of a female influencer engaging in sexual bondage activity. When the lights came on, the professor smiled and asked if we wanted to try it ourselves. Maybe it was a crash
freak, huh?
That's the moral of the story is the professor found a way to have a mandatory course in the family and psychiatry and therapy.
I mean, I find it so hard to believe how much like higher education has changed in a single generation.
You're right. In a single generation, if you want to be a therapist, now you have to do a bondage course.
You have to do a bondage where your fucking dude is just being like, we're watching bondage and shit. And you go, it's normal.
I think it's just a pervy professor is what's going on here.
Yes, but in my day, the pervy professors just fucked the students in exchange for good grades.
Exactly.
They didn't make it. They were worried. Like they still knew that like they were doing something bad and had to conceal it. Now they're just like they would never dare to just.
It's probably
like, hey, we're watching hardcore porn, everybody. Have a seat.
That's still my best prank when I was in high school. And we turned my French teachers. She used to put these videos in, and we took the video and replaced it with a porno. So she put the porno in. Oh, Miss Waldman.
That's good shit.
Maybe it was a crass joke to break the tension, but I didn't want to find out if it was a live demonstration that was next. The first time I enrolled in the course, students were assigned to read sadomasochistic erotica and a book called A Guide to Getting It On. How funny is that? Like, you show up to first class and your professor hands you a guide to getting it on.
Yeah, what does this have to do with family?
Do you want to be a therapist or not?
Yeah, do you want to help families or not?
Yeah, you have to read porn. I think they have some crappy logic that's sort of like, well, people are going to talk about sex and the thing, so you're going to want to.
Sure, you don't want to get caught flat-footed.
You don't want to get caught flat-footed. Now here's a fucking gaggers.
Everybody,
gaggers.
Grab your bondage ropes. We're going to be working on some knots.
We were told to write an 8 to 10 page comprehensive sexual autobiography. A 10-page sexual autobiography.
Oh, man.
Dude, your professor's making all the college girls
just
write
be like, tell me all that nasty shit you did.
Slower.
12 pages.
Yeah, 12 pages of...
Single spacing. 10 font.
Single spacing. 10 font.
Small font. You ever do that when I remember like writing a paper and then you just made the font really big to fill it,
space it out a little?
Yeah.
Of course.
It was like 1.1 spacing. It was like,
you just get a little extra juice.
Yeah, just a little extra.
which can include early sexual memories, masturbation, current experiences, and future goals with an action plan. All
Action plan.
and they sort of sided.
Additional marks if the teacher's part of the action plan.
Yeah, and if I happen to be,
if I happen to be part of your action plan, I'm not going to hate that.
Action plan with any potential figures in your life, they're authority figures. Maybe someone,
Maybe teachers.
maybe someone you see every day.
Yeah. Maybe your favorite teacher who will fail you if you don't include him.
Even that potentially.
Would hate to see that happen.
You have to almost respect the balls on a fucking guy to make a sexuality course and then
Crazy.
tell the kids he needs.
I mean, probably all the shit that happens in colleges where he's just like, yeah, this is like normal stuff now. He's like, I have no reason to believe this would be an issue.
We were told to write an 8 to 10 page on our sexual autobiography. The syllabus allowed students who are not required to disclose anything that causes extreme discomfort. The syllabus allows students that students are not required. Well, yeah, I guess they're not required, but it's strongly it's strongly recommended. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody fails who doesn't do it, but
Our ethical and religious grounds, I requested the alternative assignment because apparently the Muslims were able to request a religious exemption.
Okay.
And then she said she tried to request on her religious exemptions, and they denied her request. They said,
Really?
Yeah, she goes, my request was denied, suggesting I should change my plans and pursue a different type of license if I don't want to do this. If you don't, because they're saying it's if you want to be a family psychologist,
Yeah, we don't give the religious exemptions to any of the fit ones.
you're gonna have to know about this shit. Denied.
Only the gross dumpy chicks get the religious exceptions. Sorry. We don't make the rules.
Yeah, it's like I'd love to, but I'd also love to hear that 8 to 10 pager that you gotta find.
A 12 pager.
I'd really love to get my my eyes on that 10 pager you're coming my way. So in an email, she described the course as an inoculation of sorts, exposing you to content but you might come across as a licensed therapist. Like, what if you're doing a therapist and they want to know your 10 things, or you have to know their 10 things?
Yeah.
Like, you just the idea of these 10-page sexual autobiographies are just going to be sort of in the ethos of being a therapist.
Yeah, it's just part of the deal.
She told me that I did encounter such things in a professional setting, so they're going to be doing this a lot.
Yeah, this is normal.
This is 90% of therapists. You're going to be watching bondage, fucking writing.
Telling you about all the crazy stuff, the sexual kinks they have, and you're not going to want to be like, what's that about?
Yeah, the ball's on this professor because he's like, if you're not willing to be able to communicate your sexual autobiography and the sexual autobiography of others, well, then I guess you're not ready to be a therapist. I don't really know what to tell you. I requested the same accommodations that the Muslim student have, and he promised me a professional tone and said the sexual disclosure wouldn't be required. But in the classroom, among other things, he showed me the bondage outfit featuring a submissive wearing a gimp suit. And he played songs like Wet Ass Pussy and I Beat My Meat, racial slurs included.
He looks like such a sweet Asian man too.
He
just like he looks like a very just normal Chinese guy.
Normal Chinese guy showed a gimp mask tutorial.
This is like if you go describe his teacher.
I forgot to mention that he's Chinese.
Yeah, but you're like I would be like this is just like a old fat lesbian kind of.
I know,
like really empowered, not just like some button down young Chinese guy.
Chinese guy that wants to know how you feel about wet ass pussy.
Yeah.
Bondage outfit scenes.
Never expect this.
And who have you smashed? And don't be stingy with the tales.
Yeah.
A guest speaker, a male transgender psychologist, told us only trans women have penises that can blow up the world. And
someone blown up my world.
No, he brought in a guest speaker, and there was a trans chick, and she goes, trans women have penises that can blow up the world.
Okay.
And described being sexually aroused while looking in the mirror. The Asian guy's just sitting there like we got a guest speaker.
It's probably like fucking this education is probably like legitimately $80,000 a year.
That's the funny part, right? You're paying $80,000 and it's just some trans person talking about how I fucking look in the mirror and I want to suck myself off. My dick could blow up the world. Also, your assignment of your 8-page.
The school's mission is they're changing the world one client, one student, one family, and one school at a time.
And one trans dick blowing up the world. One exercise included anonymously writing down something we disliked about our genitals. And it had to be read aloud in class by another student.
That's crazy. What is happening in higher education?
This Asian guy's loving it.
Yeah, and this is a Jesuit college, so they're kind of like.
What does that mean?
I think they're like the Jesuits are like the
Good one?
No, well, they're like kind of religious.
You had to write down something you disliked about your genitals. It's funny that the Asian guys just like, listen, we're all...
You guys, like, we all have a lot of issues with our genitals, okay? Sure you know mine. Let's hear yours.
Also, I'm going to put my hat in the ring. Again, I requested if I could do that course remotely so I didn't have the trans person telling about their dick. They said no. This girl's been getting denied right in the
Guy,
life.
fucking Shang Zhang.
They said you could drop the course if you want to drop the course. And she was granted a one-time exemption so she didn't have to go to see the trans guy, pay out of pocket for a continuing education course, and enroll in extra 3 units at Santa Clara to be eligible to graduate. When I asked for a tuition refund, they called my request astonishing. So they're sort of gaslighting her a little bit.
A little bit. They go, what's such a prude?
Yeah, they're accusing her of being
Prude.
but also they're accusing her of being like right wing.
Yeah, essentially, because you don't want to.
My objections were treated as signs of systematic issue, but as a personal grievance to be managed quietly. I don't know. The whole thing's just hilarious. That it's just like a normal girl trying to be a.
Yeah. No, she works for Turning Point.
Does she?
No, I don't know.
Oh,
Probably.
well, I think this is the start of her trad blog.
Yeah.
You know, because
She's getting radicalized. This radicalized.
I think that radicalized her. She was like, I want to be like a Christian family psychologist, and they're just like, you know,
At
here's
this
a
Jesuit school.
Here's a guy in a gimp mask. Also, this trans person is going to tell you about her dick, and then also, what's wrong with your pussy? What's your what's your least favorite things?
It's
about
like when you put in a ball gag, you don't want to be stuffed up. You might die.
What's your least favorite thing about your tits? You like them, you know? What about the areolas? Do you have any problems about them? They
What's
normal?
going on with the labia?
What's going on with the
A
labia?
hanger or what?
Mr. Chang needs to
You got
know.
an innie or an outie, Mr.
What's his name again?
Professor Shang Zhang Wei.
Shang Zhang Wei. Shang Zhang Wei
He's a bit of a freak.
is the ultimate freak.
Freaky deaky.
Definitely freaky deaky. But anyways, the definitely the main story of the world right now is what's going on with the war.
Yeah.
I would feel like this is the last 4 years been way more extravagant than the rest of the years, or is it actually turned up?
Like war-wise?
Just feels like everything's
there's
been
literally
happening since COVID. It has been.
Well, there's now Israel's fighting wars on multiple fronts.
Israel has multiple wars.
Assuming you believe America is involved in this war. This is the first war they've been involved in quite some time. Russia, Ukraine. Yeah, there's a lot happening.
Russia, Ukraine is still happening.
Russia, Ukraine still happening.
Gaza's still happening.
Gaza's still happening. I mean, Lebanon, Israel's fighting wars on, like they're Lebanon, Iran, Gaza. I don't know. I don't even understand how they're, like, it doesn't even make logical sense. They only have like 8 or 9 million people. It's like Iran is 90.
Yeah, but it's mostly bombs, right?
But you would think that there is some element, obviously, where you're like, well, they have America's backing, but you're like, you still think there's some element where you're like, you know, a tiny country can't just go fuck up like multiple countries that are way larger than them.
I guess they're
population-wise. I guess maybe that's old school battle tactics, where it's just like who has the most bodies wins.
Yeah, right now it's who has the most money wins.
Who has the most money.
But also, if you think that America's not involved.
Yeah, exactly. But America doesn't seem to have been involved in, well, at least not like boots on the ground with Gaza. But the Gaza is less people.
It's weird that I always find it, like when I heard
Lebanon
a lot of people talking about it, a lot of people still call it Persia. But it's not called Persia anymore, right?
No, it's not called Persian. But
so why do people still call it Persian?
Well, all the Iranian people call themselves Persians.
No. The Iranian people like to spice it up by calling themselves.
Yeah, they're going, we're not Iranian.
But I think that they're.
But I think that's
technically they wouldn't say like.
I think because Iranian.
Nima wouldn't like technically like.
Nima
he'd be like technically it's Iran now.
It's Iran, but I think they're like that kind of has a stink on it, so then they go, we're Persians.
Well, Persian's sexier for sure.
For sure, Persians.
Like Iranian, you picture like a Middle Eastern guy like yelling at you.
Yeah. No, they're like.
Whereas like Persian, you picture like a lover boy.
Yeah, like a little silk shirt, chest hair out, gold chains.
I picture that for both.
Yeah, like just fucking stinking of cologne.
Yeah, like Iranian, exactly. I picture a guy being like
Iranian, no cologne.
No, the Iranians like Yes, he's like, trying to Mr. Steal your girl.
Yeah. I think the thing with Persians is they're
He
trying
has
to be
loafers with no socks on.
They're like, we're Arab, but like we're a little white, We're like kind of in between.
Some of them are,
Yeah.
I know some Persian people that are like fairly light.
Yeah, for sure. Persians are, a lot of them are. I think they're trying to, it's a rebrand.
But yeah, it's funny because my Tucker Carlson thing where it's like he's just always saying like low key catty things about everyone. I thought it's Bannon's like because when Bannon does Tucker Carlson, his whole thing is just always like I guess he does the war room, but like he only speaks in like war terminology. So it's like he's like, we're at war just constantly, like, we're putting together a coalition to take down his mind is like that's right now always is happening. Biggest war.
Oh yeah. Multiple wars, China.
And he didn't seem that confident. He was like, even with he's like, we have all these people like RFK and Tulsa Gabbard and all these people, even with that coalition, we're still kind of getting murked by the John Boltons of the world. Like you go, these people still run shit.
Apparently, Trump's souring on Tulsi Gabbard. That's what I've been reading. Because
he's been souring on a lot of people.
I know, but she went before Congress and was like, Iran is 10 years away from having nukes or something pretty recently. So I don't think that really goes well with what's going on here.
Well, Trump is, he put together a coalition of a lot of people that disagree on different things.
Which is the last thing he likes is anybody disagreeing with him.
Yeah, and he's like, you put together these coalitions of people that disagree, and then now he's getting mad at people for kind of having opinions they have. But then again, on the other side, you could be like, he's never really wavered on the Israel stuff that much.
He still kind of does what he wants.
But he did say, he did say, like, his whole pitch was kind of, he was campaigning on the war in Iraq.
Yeah. And the pullout in Afghanistan, how much of a disaster that was, and Russia, Ukraine would have never happened under my watch. And again, we'll see. Maybe in a week from now, this whole thing will be over.
Yeah, I'm not like 100% convinced this is like the bottom line is every 2 weeks there's like a huge thing that is the biggest issue. So
yeah, it's convenient that Elon Musk says Trump is on Epstein's list, and now this is the biggest story in the world.
There you go.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, it is funny. You're like, Russia, Ukraine's still going on.
Yeah.
The guys still like all these.
That's the fear. Is that it's just like 3 years from now, we're like, U.S. Iran still fucking
still going on.
Stalemate.
Debt
like
still spiraling.
500,000 dead and
debt still spiraling. Still have no idea who was on the Jeffrey Epstein logs.
No.
There's still chemicals in the food.
Yep.
What was RFK done? Still fat people walking around. What's going on with that? RFK?
I mean, I guess it takes time, but yeah.
Either way, I got a bunch of funny stuff for the Patreon. But, I would mention his phone thing there too. But his new phones.
Oh, yeah.
Made in China. No, they're not. But
Android phones will not work.
Patreon.com/theboyscast. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Later.